Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here, and it is Saturday morning, and we're doing a reaction to 905 winning a close game against the Westchester Knicks last night. And also, we're previewing the Raptors' last game of the 5-game road trip they've been on against the Indiana Pacers today. So the Raptors are playing Siakam and Rick Carlisle's crew today. And yeah, we're going to go over a preview for you guys to get set up for that game. And we'll talk about the fantastic game between the 905 and the Westchester Knicks last night, which a lot of us were in the chat watching the game last night. And I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And you're funny. And it's fun to watch a game with you guys and be in the comments and talk a lot. All right, let's go. All right, let's start it off. We'll do the preview first, and we'll react to the box score with the 905 and the Westchester Knicks after that. So let's start with the injuries for the two teams facing off today in Indianapolis. The Raptors have lost Sandro Mamu from the injury list because he did play in the last game, and his neck stiffness is cleared up. So he is not on the injury list today. But Oshai and Colin Murray-Boyles are still on the list. Oshai Abaji is out. Oh, wait, he's questionable for today due to his back. So I guess there is still a game time call on Baji for possibility today. And Murray-Boyles remains questionable also due to his illness. He's been sick the last few days. So we'll just have to see if these guys are available or not. It is the 1-11 Pacers, though. They're 1-11, y'all. I know. I feel bad for Pascal. But yeah, we should be fine either way, especially if we've got our regular starting lineup with barbecue. The notorious barbecue yak is what I call the team. The notorious BI3, Barnes, Barrett, and Quickly, and Yak. The notorious barbecue yak when we have that starting lineup, our regular starting lineup. Yeah, so we should be fine. We should be fine. The Pacers, it's a laundry list, guys. I read this and I feel for these guys so bad. Of course, Halliburton is out for most of the season due to the Achilles tendon injury he suffered in the finals last year. He's still, I mean, I didn't even realize how important he is to this team, but I think it's not just that. I think Miles Turner's departure and a couple other things that have happened with the Pacers have really sunk them out. They went and got Jay Huff to be the new center, but he's like their third center. He's not good enough to be their starter because it's so crazy. So they've been playing Robinson, Earl, and other people in front of him at starter because Jay Huff is just not the best center on their team right now, which I kind of was guessing that would happen when Pacers Nation was going overjoyed. Oh, we got Jay Huff to replace Miles Turner. I was like, that's not replacing Miles Turner. And and now we see he's like third on the depth chart at center. Obi Toppin is out right now, guys. He has a surgery on his foot. They're putting a screw in it. Yeah, so he's been out. He's not going to be back right now. Cam Jones is out. He has a back injury. He's a ways from returning still, apparently, to this. Aaron Nesmith is getting closer to being back, but he is out still. He will not be available for the Pacers today. The six-man, Aaron Nesmith, I guess he actually starts for them now. Mathurin is very close, guys. In fact, there was a chance that Benedict was going to be back for his first game against us today, but they have ruled him out for today. It's a toe injury for Benedict Mathurin, and he is not going to be making his return to the court today. I was hoping he would. I put him in on my fantasy team. Johnny Furpey is also out today. He has an ankle injury. He was in that really cool training day Halloween clip with Pascal Siakam. It was just beautiful. Perfect role for him as Ethan Hawke sitting at that table with Pascal's Denzel Washington. Pascal is 10 out of 10 on Halloween. He's the king of Halloween. He's just amazing, man. What a cinephile. What a cinephile Siakam is. I just love Siakam so much, man. But Furpey, he was actually maybe going to come back today, but he's not going to play today. No, they ruled him out for today, guys. Quentin Jackson is also going to be out today. They were talking about him coming back, but so no injuries coming back for the Pacers to get a little bit of help coming back. There could have been a chance of Benedict, Johnny, or Quentin Jackson, but these guys aren't showing up. They're not showing up for today. They're going to be out today. It's official already. So, yeah, let's see who the Pacers are. This will be the first time we face them this year. We're going to play them 4 times. It's pretty spread out. We're going to play them today. Then we're going to play them in the in-season tournament in the next 2 weeks. After that, I'm going to that game. And then we're going to play them 2 more times, and they're a little bit more spread out towards Christmas and even the next year. So, yeah, the ESPN matchup predictor is saying we have a 69.7% chance of beating the Pacers today. So we're heavily favored in the matchup, as we should be. So who's going to be playing for the Pacers since there's so many people out? Well, Andrew Nebhart, our kid from Aurora. We love you, Andrew, our great Canadian point guard for Team Canada. Of course, he's going to be there with Siakam, and it's really him and Siakam holding it down for them these days. You know, TJ McConnell is healthy right now, so we should see TJ McConnell in this game. Tony Bradley has been starting at center. He's the one who's been getting the center assignment right now, and his backup is Isaiah Jackson, and then Jay Huff. So that's the center depth for them. They've also got Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who's been a quality pickup for fantasy teams recently, if you got him. Jarace Walker is on this team still. Ben Shepherd is the backup guard, and who knows, he may be starting, honestly. Monte Morris and Ray J. Dennis round out the rest of the available squad for them. So, yeah, it's a talent drain for Rick Carlisle and what he's been dealing with so far this season. And in some ways, it's wow. You guys have gone from the finals to this record at this point. It sucks. It's got to be really, really deflating to be going from the finals against the Thunder and playing an epic 7-game series to starting the season 1-11. I feel bad for those guys, man. All right, that's your injury report. Let's go look at the refs, guys. All right, we got our ref crew for today, and I'm going to say this. Every single one of the refs favors the Pacers today. I don't know if they're trying to give them a help. I don't know if they're like the Raptors are doing too good because they've won so many games recently, but they sent a ref crew that all favors the Pacers. Every single ref has a higher win percentage with the Pacers than us. So let's go over them. First ref, crew chief, is James Williams. We have not seen James Williams yet this year. Number 60 in his 16th season out of Memphis, Tennessee. His favorite TV show is Snowfall. He likes the movie Shawshank Redemption. His favorite book is The Soul of Money. Does money have a soul? In some ways, it sucks the soul out of humans, is what I would say right there. His favorite meal is soul food. Now, I'd say there's more soul in the food than in the money. James Williams, that's what I would say. His favorite app is Ref Masters, and that's why he became so good at what he does. That's right. He'd most like to visit Africa. Once again, we have this program, James Williams, with the great Masai Ujiri. Maybe you could go and work with him on Giants of Africa. Maybe you could go and intern and teach seminars to the Basketball Africa League referees and give back. You could go to Africa, my guy. If that's on your bucket list, you can go. Let's just say that. Yeah, he also wants to become the mayor of Chicago, and his hidden talent is rapping. So it's like, look, if there's another delay in a game like there was last night in the 9:05 game for a shot clock, James Williams, you got to grab the mic and just spit some bars real quick just to entertain the crowd. Yeah, we don't want to stand around and get restless. Them kids in Westchester were looking like they're about to turn over some chairs because the game was taking too long to come back from a shot clock. So, man, maybe James Williams, you just get the mic and just start entertaining and just give a little show in the middle of the game since you spit bars, my guy. Come on now. James Williams has officiated 880 regular season games and 15 seasons as an NBA staff official. Williams has also worked 82 playoff games, including 7 NBA Finals games. He refereed the NBA All-Star Game in 2013 in Houston and also the NBA All-Star Game in 2022 in Cleveland. Yeah, James Williams is not historically a great ref for us, guys. I'm going to say that. He is above our franchise win percentage of 47% winning. He is a 49% winner with us. Meanwhile, the Pacers win 54% of their games when James Williams is present. So 49-54 is the split for the Pacers with the crew chief. The second ref is John Butler, his 7th season out of Biloxi, Mississippi, number 30. His favorite show is Chappelle's Show. He likes the movie Do the Right Thing. His favorite musician is Jay-Z. He likes the book Chop Wood, Carry Water. His favorite meal is red beans and rice. His favorite app is the Bible. And he'd most like to visit Africa also. Sounds like you should get on that trip with James Williams and go help out Masai and go train some Basketball Africa League referees and teach them the ways of the NBA refs. That'd be so rewarding. Think about it. You get to do what you want to do, go see the continent, and you'd also get to do something worthwhile, John Butler and James Williams. You guys should do this. Seriously, I'm not lying. I think that every ref that says they'd like to go to Africa on their profile need to talk to Masai Ujiri. Seriously. John Butler has officiated 277 regular season games and one playoff game in 6 seasons as an NBA staff official. He made his playoff debut as an NBA referee in the 2024-2025 season. So, yeah, he was just a full staff ref last year. So this is only his second year as a full staff ref. He was a part-time ref before that. Yeah, John Butler is the worst ref for us today. He has the worst winning percentage for the Raptors out of the 3 refs. We win 43% of our games. He's in the red zone. He's just below Ed Malloy and Scott Foster. So, yeah, he can't be that good, right? He's below Foster and Malloy. Meanwhile, the Pacers win 55% of their games with him. So the split is 43 to 55 for the Pacers with John Butler. The last ref is the only ref we've seen this year so far. He did ref in a win for us this year already, and it's JT Orr. Once again, California's JT Orr is back to ref another game for us. 15th season out of Pomona, California, number 72. He likes Curb Your Enthusiasm, and he likes the movie Fletch. I know that, but he also likes the movie Tombstone. His favorite musician is Pearl Jam. Yeah, Pearl Jam. His favorite book is The Outsiders. He likes homemade biscuits and gravy for a meal. He likes to play Wordle. That's cool. Wordle's fun, man. JT Orr's probably good at Wordle. Most like to visit Glacier National Park. His bucket list is start a dog rescue. That's pretty cool. And his hidden talent is impressionist painting. JT Orr has officiated 5 seasons in the NBA G League and 13 years at the collegiate level in the Big West, Pac-12, and West Conference Coast Conferences, among others. He was a referee in the 2011 NCAA tournament and the 2005 California Community College State Championship. So this guy, he's got some G League experience. He's got some NCAA collegiate experience, including the big dance. So that's pretty cool. JT is the most friendly ref out of the refs today. We have the best winning percentage, 58%. And like I said, he reffed the game we won in the last week or so. So this is the second time we're seeing him in like the last week or so. But the Pacers have an amazing winning percentage with him, 61%. So technically he favors the Pacers, even though we have a 58% winning percentage with JT Orr. The Pacers have a 61% winning percentage with him. So there's your ref report. All 3 refs favor the Pacers. We do have JT Orr, who's a fantastic ref for the Raptors. James Williams is a suspicious ref. I'm just going to say that. He's a suspicious ref. And I don't trust John Butler either. No, I don't. So at least we got one that's kind of like, okay, James Williams will go by the book, but he's one of these refs that in some ways I worry he's doing NBA storylines. Now, I don't know if they're going to try and submarine us on this game just to help out Rick Carlisle and Pascal and the Pacers. I don't know. We'll just have to see. They did kind of try and submarine us in the last game. We overcame it and still beat the Cavs. So maybe there's a certain area of like, even if the refs fuck with us and there's an 8 versus 5, we're that badass that we go right over the Pacers anyway. Because honestly, that's kind of what we did to the Cavs earlier this week. And the Pacers are not as good as the Cavs. So we'll have to see how this all goes down tonight. I'm suspicious of the refs. Let's just put it that way. All right, there you go. There's your preview for today. The ref crew favors the Pacers very heavily, man, very heavily. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Good to see people in chat this morning. Isaac Campbell's got Scotty on blast to start the show. Yeah, we love Scott. We love Scott. Yeah, Scotty's awesome, man. Scotty, you keep doing what you do. Tonight, Scott, you get to see your old friend Pascal, your favorite player in the league. You got to show him what you've graduated to. In some ways, this is a time to show a mile marker on a highway. This is how far I've traveled. So hello, Mr. Siakam, my friend Siakam. My name is Mr. Barnes, and I'd like to show you where I've come to at this point in my NBA life, who I am now, because I may not be exactly who you remember when you got traded from Toronto to Indiana. I may be a little bit different now. So hi, I'm Scotty Wayne Barnes, And I'd like to reintroduce myself as the latest version, the latest updated version of Scott Wayne Barnes. That's what I want to see tonight, Isaac. I want to see this. That's right. Trevor J's words of wisdom. Thank you, Commissioner of Fun, Trevor J, for coming with your wisdom and sharing it with us every morning. We are like books. Okay. Most people only see the cover. Yeah. The minority read the introduction. Many people believe the critics. Few will know the content. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah, listen, I'm realizing this more and more. And, I get this evidence every day. Not everybody's for everybody. Some people have different auras, different energies, different designs to them that clash, that just aren't like, this is not a personality that goes with my personality. This kind of shit happens all the time on the down low in subtle ways, in like natural animalistic ways that we don't even realize. Like, man, I get a feeling about that guy. Or, man, I really don't like her. There's shit like that. And, well, we're not supposed to be popular or liked by everyone. That's just the damn truth. It's a myth that we get taught in grade school. Everybody has got to like me. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Seriously. But I think Trevor's right about this word of wisdom. It's like some people will not investigate who you are because you turn them off already right from the start. And that's fine. That's fine. In some ways, that's safeguarding you from the wrong people being around you. We don't have to be the most popular person in the world. We don't have to have everybody like us. And in some ways, if your cover of your book is not attractive to someone to open the book, that's fine. Put it down. It's not for you. That's what I would say. But I like this. This is an interesting word of wisdom. How many people are going to read your content because they like your book? Let's see what happens there. That's right. Trevor J, thank you, sir. And blessings to the Jones family and all the Raptor Freak families out there. That's right. Trevor's saying this, happy game day. Let's beat the Pacers and keep it going. That's right. We win today. We started another win streak. Will be a third win in a row. But with the only blemish in the month of November for the Raptors, both teams, we are now 10-1 in the month of November between both of our teams. The 905 are 4-0 after last night's win over the Westchester Knicks. And the Raptors are, we're 9-1. Sorry. Is that right? Yeah, we're 9-1, not 10-1. We go 10-1 when we beat Indiana today. That's right. We go 10-1 for the month of November when we beat the Pacers today, which I truly believe we will. Trevor's saying 905 was put to the test, but come away with the victory. Yeah, it was close. In some ways, after the first 3 games at home against Maine and Skyhawks, it was like, wow, I just kind of expect the 905 to run roughshod over these G League teams. Now, testament to the Westchester Knicks. They're a better G League team than the first 2 that we played. They have some quality players, even though they don't play a point guard, which is really weird. And that hurt them against us. They held with us really well. And that was really on some of the talent that they have, like Trey Jemison and Donovan Williams carrying them. Dink Pate. Yeah, they had some guys that were carrying them, and they stuck around with us. We didn't play the most solid game as 905. We weren't totally hitting it on all cylinders like we had the first 3 games. But I like this kind of test. It's important for the 905 to not just blow people out. You have to have a close, manageable game where you have to figure this out and play really good because it's close and it's a nail biter, and you got to be tested by it. And, well, we passed. In some ways, these kind of wins are just as important as route wins to show the identity of the team and how good they can be. Because if you just route everybody, you never get tested in a close game. Well, you may get fucked up in a close game. You hadn't been tested in that yet. And, well, we got a test in a close game, and it was a big shot by A.J. Lawson that won the game for the 905 last night. We'll do the stars of the game soon. We'll go over the box score. Yeah, it was a good game. It was very fun, and I appreciate everybody in the chat enjoying the game with me. Isaac, Monique, Infamous, Wayne, Kareem, Kaz. We had a big group in the chat last night, and it was very active. Very, very active. It was fun. Amir is here. Amir, yo, Amir, what's up, man? Thanks for the subscription, my guy. Cardinals and Ravens. Okay, my guy. And then we've got BI is the GOAT. I like that. 69.7. Is that a shooting percentage? Is that somebody's shooting percentage from field goal? That sounds like a very good field goal percentage. That sounds like a Shaquille O'Neal field goal percentage from like the early 2000s, 69.7%. Yeah, ownership screwed them over. Who did they screw over? Ownership screwed over. Oh, the Pacers. Yeah, I get what you're saying here. Yeah, the ownership did screw over the Pacers. I don't understand that. Why? If it was us and we were in a situation, because like the NBA is like, we don't want the Pacers to be in the finals again. This was a surprise and a shock that they rose all the way up and got the finals as the Eastern team. I could see an agenda on the underlying that they're like, we don't want the Pacers to be good next year, the NBA office. And I don't know. I don't understand the Pacers ownership. You guys got to the finals. You've been on a slow climb to get there, and you just killed all your momentum this summer by not reinvesting in Miles Turner and really just kind of like not improving your team, losing more on your team, and like just going downgraded with talent. It's like you got to the top. You should have been upgrading, spending more, because the evidence is you're that good. But I guess with Halliburton going down, and when he's going to be out for the season, just like the Celtics with Tatum, you'll wave the white flag a little early and say, well, let's just have a down year. Let's have a tank year. And let's just kind of, lose for a year. I don't know, man. That's risky shit. That's the kind of shit the Sixers would do. And I'm like, Pacers, you don't need to do this, man. Have some pride and fucking, anyway. I think this guy's right, though. B.I. the GOAT's right. I think the Pacers ownership fucked that team up. And the sad thing is that the Pacers fans blame Miles Turner and came after him, a 10-year legend of their team who had all the loyalty in the world to them until this year. And they turned on him. That's so fucking sad, man. They didn't have to do that. They should be mad at their ownership. I think that B.I. the GOAT's right here. Yeah, HC's in here, man. Rise and shine. Let's go, Raps. Man, I'm catching up on you a little bit better in our fantasy matchup right now. I like that I'm a little bit closer to you. So there's some wiggle room for me to try and catch you in the next 2 days before our matchup ends on Sunday. But HC, respect. Good to see you in the chat this morning, my guy. Seymour's back. Let's see. The sheriff is back. He's out west for us in Alberta, holding it down in the middle of the country. They're saying, what pop, gang? Lock in, beat Indiana. Yeah, we can't mess with our food. Once again, the sign of a very good team, like what we want to be this year. Surprising everybody. Everybody saying, oh, they could be a play-in team. It's like they think that they're complimenting us. Like, who was it that I heard on it was Robin Lopez in the last day or so saying, the Raptors are actually pretty good. They could be a play-in team, like 7 or 8. Motherfucker, you're lowballing our asses. You're still doing that, You're still disrespectful. I think we're going to be top 5, if not top 3 in the East, if you really think about this. Once again, this league has been sleeping on the needle pusher that Brandon Ingram is when you add him to the Raptors petri dish. These motherfuckers don't understand who Brandon Ingram is. Well, he needs to show them who he is more and more this season and show him just how much he is an add-on that pushes the needle forward, that makes the Raptors an even better team in the Eastern Conference. This shit is wide open, just like a good block in open field for a running back to run it right down to the end zone. For the Raptors to run it right down the end zone in the Eastern Conference and jump to the top of this league. And I'm telling you right now, after the end of this month, with the teams that we're playing right now, for the rest of this month, we need to increase this record and get the fuck up there with Detroit very soon. Yeah, we're going to be up there with Detroit very, very soon. And I don't know what excuses the media and people are going to be making at that point on their blind spot about the addition of Brandon Ingram to the Raptors and what that means for them and their ability to win. Because this shit is coming. They don't have to look at us. They don't have to watch us. We're the Canadian team. I know y'all don't pay attention to us. I know you don't have any belief in us. I know that y'all get confused about what is this roster build? What the fuck are they doing in Toronto? You put out so much misinformation that when this shit does work and everybody's surprised by it, and everybody's like, whoa, well, the Raptors, why are they good? Oh, this shit happens all the time. This shit happened for 10 years with DeMar and Kyle. So I'm used to this shit. You motherfuckers can downgrade and dismiss us and say that we aren't this and that, and we will come out and show you the truth. Because RJ Barrett is the truth. It's not Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce was the truth when he played, maybe. But right now, the truth is RJ Barrett. And when the truth hits you, the kid from Mississauga and his team coming to beat your ass, the truth will hit you finally then, because you ignored all of us. And you're going to find out then. Yeah, we can be like a submarine under the water, and we will emerge from the water at the end of the year at the top of the Eastern Conference. And everybody be wanting to give the coach of the year to Darko. because that's the shit that's going to happen this year. I'm telling you right now, Raptors Nation, hold your heads up with pride. Don't listen to the bullshit out there. There's more malarkey on the internet than ever before right now. And in some ways, it doesn't matter what people say. It matters what we do. That's what matters. That's what matters right there. Smack them down. That's what I'm saying, Seymour. Smack them down. That's right. B.I. the GOAT saying 1 and 11 don't want to be the 2. Yeah, we definitely don't want that. There was the sad day when we traded OG Anunoby to the New York Knicks and got RJ and Emmanuel. That was the happy part. But that day was one of the worst days in Raptors history because we ended a 30-game losing streak for the Detroit Pistons, who had not won in like a month and a half. And all of a sudden, we traded OG to New York. And that day, with a short-staffed team, we lost to the Pistons, who had not won in a long time. That was an abysmal, sad fucking day. We were sad about Anunoby, but I mean, in some ways, I was joyous about RJ. I'll say that, and IQ. And then, we lost the Pistons that day too. Ugh, that was gross. I hated the way I felt that day. I don't want to feel that way today, Scotty. So make sure we don't feel that way today. That's right. We ain't giving them the second win. No. Golden State gave them their first. That's the crazy thing. They beat the Warriors. That's the only game they won. It's not the Nets. No. It's not Charlotte. No. It's not the Wizards. No. The team they beat was the Golden State Warriors. That's the only win on their mark. That's crazy, isn't it? This is crazy. I love it. Let's see. Keeping it going with the chat. Willie Green got fired. First coach chopped. I'm not surprised by this. In the last year or so, I felt like Willie had lost their locker room. In some ways, Brandon said this when he showed up in February. He said, it's great to be on a team where the players listen to the coach. He did say that. He did say that when he showed up. He's like, it's really nice to be on a team that's together and listens to their coach and is like not toxic. So I think Willie had lost them. I blame Zion for all this shit. If Zion would just get off his ass and be a real player, I laugh at people when they say Zion's a superstar and he's all this and all that. He ain't proved jack shit because he's inconsistent. He's in that DMP Hall of Fame that y'all made up the other day that I thought was so hilarious. Seriously, people like Ja Morant, Ben Simmons, Zion Williamson, they hold up their team from being good. Lonzo Ball fucked up the Bulls for a couple years too. And, you have that big salary. You have this guy who's supposed to be your best player, and they're just not available or just flaky as fuck. That fucks up people's lives, like Willie Green's. Seriously, that's what gets you fucking fired is Williamson and his waistline and his bullshit for the last few years. They couldn't get no runway to get going and rebuild or do anything when these jackasses ain't available. That's why Ja Morant and Zion Williamson are fool's gold. And whoever is thinking about going to get them, realize they're too good to be true. Just trust me on this. Ben Simmons, did he ever pan out in any kind of way? No. What the fuck is he even doing right now? Seriously, don't believe these fool's gold. These motherfuckers that get everything handed to them before they even fucking earned it. Everybody just talks about, Zion Williamson, so good, so good. All respect to RJ, because I know you love Zion. He's your friend. But your friend's flaky as fuck. And he's got his coach fired now. That's just how it is. This is how it is. Seymour saying this, no days off in this league, but I predict a 15-point win. I love this every other day, 905 Raptors. 905 Raptors. I got a basketball game every night. And I love the Raptors having every other day in their schedule. We're playing on odd days right now, where it's like there's no 2 days off. There's no back-to-back. There's pretty much play, off. And you're off. Play off. We're going to go to the playoff. But I'm just saying, I like this kind of beats. I feel like it's good for the players too, because they can do game day and rest day, game day and rest day. And they get a natural rhythm, a biorhythm, and they can get in a little kind of routine. And I like the beats of how the season's coming right now. I really do. And like I said, this schedule is nice. We do have a back-to-back coming up in the next week, but it's a home-at-home back-to-back where we play two people in Toronto in 2 nights in a row. And Philadelphia is the second night, I believe. I believe that's true. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's see. Seymour saying it's not Willie's fault. It's the top and the grooming of Zion. Yeah. I mean, this is part of the reason why the league directed Wemby to the Spurs. Because you could give Victor Wembanyama to the Rockets or any other team that was in the running around that time, and they could fuck up him as a product for the league to market around. That's why in some ways you don't want to fuck up that football. You want to pass it to somebody who can carry it the right way. And the Spurs are a very safe, healthy franchise for Victor to be on, plus, of course, his ties before. And I totally agree. There probably was collusion to make Victor Wembanyama a San Antonio Spur, just like Cooper Flagg a Dallas Maverick. So, but that's the thing. You want these top-level players to not get fumbled by the organization that's involved with them. And I mean, who do you blame? Do you blame the Pelicans or do you blame Zion himself personally? Seriously, who do you blame? The Grizzlies or do you blame John Morant and T. Morant? Seriously, who do you blame? Who do you blame? What part of it was this? Now, Gilbert Arenas is on his stupid ass show saying his stupid shit as usual, saying that John Morant will leave Memphis and it will take the star power away from that franchise and that team will have to move from that city. So they're saying, be careful, Memphis Grizzlies. You might lose your whole entire franchise from your city if John Morant leaves. I think that's the craziest shit he's saying. Like, what the fuck? You think John Morant's that powerful? No, come on, man. Seriously. Now, that team may not be doing well just because that market's not doing well. And then all of a sudden, they may be in a different city like Seattle. Who knows? We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. That's right. Front office for sure. Yeah, front office to blame for Indiana. Front office to blame for New Orleans, and that's why Joe Dumars is there now to try and fix it up. That's right. That's right. Nameless is here. Ciao, everybody. It's the Italian prop plumber, my friend Nameless. Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, I love Nameless, man. Nameless is my guy, man. Do I get an Italian lesson ever again? This man used to teach me Italian like he was Rosetta Stone. And I appreciated him for it. I was actually learning Italian, but he's got a job now. He's too busy with plumbing. He shows up in the weekend, and I see him then. I love you, Nameless. I'm so happy to see you back, man. Seymour saying this. He is very marketable, friendly, but it comes with a cost like Ja in Memphis. Do you want to win? Talking about Zion? Yeah, I think that Zion's got a good personality. I don't think he's a bad dude. I just think he has bad habits. And I don't think he's been serious enough with his life. And I think that in some ways he's needed somebody near him that needs to be tough on him and say, you're fucking up your life. And you need to, where's the family member or something like that? The person that he can absolutely trust that's going to say, stop going to 7-Eleven at 3 a.m. and buying all this junk food and stop calling these porno stars and get them all pissed off and having them publicly thrash you on social media in crazy ways. You got to live your life better, Zion. What are you doing? I know. I would say, why don't you call him, RJ? Because you're his friend. He'll listen to you. RJ, why can't you have a heart-to-heart with Williamson and try and help him, man? Your Duke buddy. Seriously, I don't know. How do you help this guy? How do you help him? I mean, I heard that he's in better shape this year, so maybe he's trying a little bit more, and maybe he's figuring it out a little bit better. But maturity is something I don't know when you get it. And somebody, Zion Williamson, how many years you been in the league now? And why haven't you started maturing yet is what I'm asking, man. I'm asking that. That's right. Seymour saying BI3 made the winning choice coming north. I think Rich Paul and him were smart because the free agency just don't pay the same way. And it's much smarter to stay on that contract and get that extension. And he said that. That's a big part of why they did that. The place was attractive. And I don't think Brandon is regretting. He's not looking back. I think he's very happy in the direction he went to and what he's doing right now. In some ways, there's some very interesting things that could happen with Ingram before the end of the season with the Raptors. If he stays healthy and he puts in a lot of work with them, the more reps with his teammates, the better he's going to look. Because honestly, he just showed up. He's played less than 15 games with these guys. And there is a real amount of progress and growth as a teammate playing off each other and familiarity. And also, as he said in the interview the other day, his explosiveness is not fully here yet. So there is a whole other level of Brandon Ingram that we could get to this season that I want to see. Oh, yeah, I want to see. I want to see him continue to progress and get more connection with his teammates, because the more connection with his teammates, the even crazier things are going to get better for the Raptors. Watch. I'm telling you right now, this is just the beginning. And he's already badass, and he's almost playing perfect for us already. There is levels to go up higher. Let's just put it that way, is what I will say about this with Brandon. That's right. BI is the go to saying New Orleans doesn't even have their own pick. Yak is not going to get bullied today. Yeah, this is gonna be like night and day from the last game. Going against if this is a tag team wrestling matchup, Allen and Mobley versus Barnes and Pirtle, Yeah, well, they pinned them and beat their asses. And that's 2 times we paid them too now. And the first matchup was a heavyweight matchup of Mobley versus Barnes by themselves. Well, their buddies came in for this one, and they had the Barnes and Pirtle versus Allen and Mobley. And well, they're a good dynamic 4 and 5 in this league. And some people may say they're the best 4 and 5 in the Eastern Conference. But I don't know. Pirtle and Barnes outplayed them the last game, and they looked like the big boys wearing the big pants, and they were the little babies that got beat up in the lane on Thursday night. So yeah, this is very much a softer opponent than what they just dealt with. This is night and day. BI is right. BI the God is right. That I don't know. This is gonna be some Kleenex tissue resistance. It's gonna be like blowing our noses going into the lane tonight, because the Pacers ain't got nobody down there. And man, I hate it. This gives Tampa flashbacks. If they're going to be playing Pascal at center, I might get PTSD watching that, guys. So please don't play Pascal at center, Rick Carlisle, because you may trigger some things in me from a couple years ago that's sad. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Please don't play him at center. Don't put that. Don't put 43 through that, man. Please. Please don't do that. Please don't make him play Yak. He's his friend. What do we see? Pirtle versus Pascal for most of the game, guys. And Yak is just like, he's like smiling at him. He say, "I love you, Pascal, but it's time for me to Austrian hammer you." That's a matchup right there. It's going to be Pirtle and Pascal, baby. We might see that. Seriously, man. We might see that. Paul B is here. Good to see Paul B checking in from stateside on the Milwaukee side of things. This is our guy in the state of Wisconsin. Paul B, I appreciate you, man, for all you do. I hope you and your family are doing well. And thank you for your past work helping the channel. Paul B has been a very helpful person to this channel in the past. Raptors have looked so good recently. How do you feel Oshai will look when he returns? And what do you feel has been lacking on the court in his absence? I would have loved to have Oshai in the last game against Mitchell. Mitchell is, we saw he had the same amount of free throw attempts as the Raptors. He's just really hard to guard without fouling. And Abaji's fantastic on Mitchell. Like he's one of those guys that's a little bit bigger and stronger than Mitchell. And in some ways, if anybody can keep up with him and kind of be annoying to him, he's the best option. So, Jacoby, Grady, RJ, they all had their chances to guard Mitchell in the last game, but Abaji would have been the best choice. And that's one place where you could see where you missed him was, man, I would have loved to play at Oshai on Donovan Mitchell on Thursday. I'm sure Darko was thinking that. Sure he was. So I don't know. Maybe if he's able to play today, he's a good person to try and tie up Siakam. Yeah, but that's the thing, man. He's in some ways, he's not like OG back in the day, but there's a level of kind of like shutdown that Oshai can do. And he's very effective on the down low. We used a lot of it last year when he was starting a lot. He was very much one of the most important defenders on one of the best guys on the other side. And it was usually their best 2 or 3 that he was shutting down. So I would say that, Paul, is, man, we could have used them against Mitchell the other night. That's right. BI3 is the GOAT, is saying Mitchell was foul baiting hard. Yeah, they give him on, there's the superstar calls, the golden boy calls. And yeah, that was one of the ways they were trying to funnel and manipulate the game. There was a lot of funny stuff with the bonus and manipulating the bonus and manufacturing extra point attempts for the Cavs through the free throw line. And well, that was true. But once again, the Raptors are that badass that we can win 8 versus 5. And that's really, I will say straight up, that Cleveland game was very impressive, partly because we did beat the refs too. For sure. Seymour saying this, Lex, what's your thoughts on Tim Duncan saying Queen of New Orleans will be the best player out of this draft, and he really likes his game? Your thoughts? I didn't know he said that. That's very interesting. And I mean, I can't go against Duncan. He's one of my favorite players of all time. He's a bona fide, probably the greatest power forward in the history of the NBA, 5-time champion. He's soft-spoken. We don't hear him say a whole lot. So when he does say something, we should listen. So I'll tend to listen to him. I mean, I think that Queen's done very well so far from what I've heard. And he's kind of like been wowing people. I know that he's bonding with these people of New Orleans, saying that I'm coming here to do this for you guys. And I'm really big. And they already love him a lot there because he is really bonding with the fan base. I don't know. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I know when I scouted Derek Queen last year for the draft, I wasn't impressed. And I felt like he seemed like a lazy kind of guy from his body type. But I don't know. Maybe Tim Duncan sees a lot of stuff that I don't see. And I would say, believe Tim Duncan over me. Uh, I don't know more about basketball than Tim Duncan. So we'll just have to see over time. He may very well be right. We'll have to see. Naco the Nachos here, holding it down for us in Mississauga on the west side of the GTA. How are you doing today, Gerald? Charlotte and New Orleans had the best draft so far. Pelicans are a disaster, though. Yeah, the Charlotte Hornets, who we'll see very soon, coming up. I think Tuesday we'll see them. They're boasting like 3 guys in the top 10 rookie rankings right now by ESPN, with Knipple, Kalkbrenner, and Sion Jones. So yeah, their rookie class is looking really good so far. And I guess the Hornets have won a couple games. They're not exactly at the bottom. Well, we're going to see them in the City Edition jerseys. I think it's Monday, actually. I think we play them on Monday night at Scotiabank Arena. The Raptors will return from their road trip, and they'll be wearing those brand new black and red City Edition jerseys with the Earn Not Given jersey on the Raptor, that number 19 on there. That's right. Yeah, I love that jersey, man. I love the chevron Earn Not Given jersey, and seeing it get that little cameo on the City Edition jerseys. Fire. It looks so good. All right, let's keep going. Trevor J saying this. Raptors bench second behind OKC in production in the league. That's a fantastic stat. I love that, Trevor. So we got the second best bench in the league after the Thunder. Well, hello, Jack Armstrong. That's awesome. That is really, really good stat. I love that, Trevor. I did not know that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. HC is saying this. It feels like the chatter surrounding the 2019 season was exactly the same. What did ESPN project our win total to be back then? Yeah, I mean, listen, that's why I have to do this channel, is because there's so much negativity and dropping us down and saying all this shit. In some ways, some people say I'm overly positive and I'm really like overshooting, and maybe they're right, because I want to overcompensate for how much everybody downgrades us and puts us down. In some ways, part of what I'm doing is trying to instill respect and pride in Raptors Nation about us, because there's too much toxic bullshit, unnecessary stuff said in social media still. I mean, we're sitting in the Westchester Knicks Raptors 905 chat last night, and guy in there is slandering Pascal later. And you don't need to do this. We love Siakam. Siakam had a storied career with us. I rank him as one of the top 4 Raptors of all time. And, people putting him down in the 905 chat last night for no reason. There's no reason to do that. Like, seriously, let's have pride in his chapter with our team and the things he accomplished. And let's remember him for that stuff. Somebody putting some slander in there. I said, no Siakam slander here, please. No. Because in some ways, look, we have to share Leaf fans that are cynical and they diss their team and they're toxic. But we don't have to allow them to have those toxic behaviors in our fan nation. And say, look, bro, you can be like this with the Leafs. You go ahead and do that in your hot stove time. But not when you're talking about the Raptors. We have pride and we're a winning organization, and all that jaded shit that's in Leaf Nation, you check it at the door when you're in Raptors Nation. That's what I say to these people. So, there's a lot of goals on this channel. It's to inform y'all about the teams. It's to talk about things, but it's also to have pride in the culture and really root for our team in a positive way. Because I don't know, some people that say they're Raptors fans, they seem so fucking miserable. Like they can't even enjoy that we're winning right now. They're in social media spaces pointing out all this and that. Oh, but this. Why don't you just fucking smile? We've won most of the games this month. Why do you have to be like this? This is what I'm trying to say to these people. But yeah, that's a big part of it all right there. That's right. We're going to show them. And yeah, they didn't see us coming in 2019 when we came up and got that championship. It's not realistic we'll win a championship, but it is in the realm of possibility. Let's just put it that way. BI is the GOAT is saying Kendrick Perkins was the sane one. Yeah, in some ways, I like Kendrick standing for us, but I don't like how he keeps saying my Toronto Raptors, like he's owning them or something. I mean, he has rode with us on many occasions in the past as far as believing in us and saying good things about us on ESPN. But in some ways, I mean, all right, you want to be fully with us? You're Toronto Raptors? Well, you better not fucking jump off when we start having bad years at some point down the road too. If you really want to be with us, Kendrick, you better be riding with us through thick and thin, because I ain't having this half-ass shit where you just want to be on TV looking good, touting the Raptors when nobody else sees it and you do. But then when we're in a bad place, you start dumping on us. No. You got to be with us for real if you want it to be your Toronto Raptors, Kendrick Perkins. That's what I say right there. I love you saying it, though, and keep saying it, Kendrick. Please. Seymour saying this, like a Canadian geese fly under the radar. That's right. And Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley's been speaking to us, too. Yeah. I mean, these guys are legitimate guys. They're authentic people. Some ways Kendrick Perkins is cheesy and kind of immature at times, but he's just authentically himself, just like Charles is, just like I am. And they're just going to speak their truth. And in some ways, they can't lie. So if Charles Barkley sees things in the Raptors, he's just speaking his mind. There's no filter. Whereas maybe Shaq or Kenny the Jet would be like, this is the Raptors. Maybe I shouldn't talk them so much. I don't need to because they don't want me to, so I won't do it. But Charles is like, they ain't going to fucking control me. I'm just speaking it like it is. So in some ways, there's more pure voice of authenticity through Charles Barkley than Shaquille O'Neal or Kenny the Jet Smith, because those motherfuckers are filtering their shit, and they may be like, I don't want to talk. Jack's like, I don't want to talk up the Raptors. Why do I want to talk up the Raptors? They're a Canadian team, But Charles will tell the truth. Charles will tell the truth. That's right. Under the radar, like a Canadian goose. That's right. Military man's here, man. Is this a cup game? The one today is not. We're getting a tune-up against them in Indiana to get ready for a cup game against them. And like I said, I'm going to that game. The cup game will be on the 26th on a Wednesday. But before that, we'll play Washington on a cup game next Friday. So the two cup games that are left are next Friday, and then the Wednesday after that Friday, Washington Wizards and Indiana Pacers, both in Toronto at Scotiabank Arena. The hardest part of our in-season tournament is over. We beat Cleveland and Atlanta on the road. So now we'll play Washington and Indy at home, and they're both bad teams, and we should beat them, and we should be going to Vegas to compete for this Emiratis Cup, which is amazing. And I want to see this. Military man, salute. Thanks for being here, man. Good to see you back. Seymour saying this, Draymond got postered by Wembanyama and didn't even notice till after the play. Laugh out loud. That's funny. I'll have to go look for that highlight. I didn't see that. That's funny. Isaac Campbell is here. Good to see the benevolent one holding it down for us in the nation's capital of Ottawa. Good to see you, my guy. How are you doing? Do you think the 905 commentator was watching the chat stream? I think he was. And is why they both went silent for like 30 seconds right after I trolled them when I said that comment about the free throw shooter? Yeah, I think that we were fucking them up in the comments. No, I'm serious, Isaac. I think we were fucking running that chat. Seriously. First of all, thank you guys with Gary the Fisherman. I mean, I did seem like a crazy man in there because I am dominating the chat and I'm writing so much in there. And I'm just writing stuff in there. And this guy Gary's like, who are you talking to? I'm like, I'm talking to my friends. I'm talking to all my friends here. He's like, because nobody else was writing to me. He's like, well, you're pretty annoying. I was like, well, you could just block me then. And then like Infamous showed up and a whole bunch of other Raptor freaks showed up and they're talking to me. And then all of a sudden this guy Gary was like, oh shit, he does have friends. And they are actually here watching. That shit was gold. And Isaac started relaying my comments to him. But he unblocked me to Gary's credit. Respect, man. Seriously, I know I'm annoying, man. I am chatty. You were right. I'm a very chatty person. I mean, I do this show every day for 2 hours where I just chat. And yeah, I mean, but it was funny, man. It was cool. No hard feelings, Gary. And honestly, I can tell you're a big time Raptor fan. I mean, I remember you from all the games last year and being in there. I mean, I chatted just as much as I always chat. It's just that I guess I was on your nerves a little bit. But yeah, they were watching us. The one sign that they were definitely watching our chat, the announcers for Westchester Knicks, is because they started pronouncing Mobo's name right. At the beginning of the game, the guy was naming him Mobu. He called him Mobu. Jonathan Mobu in the game. And somebody in the chat, I forget who, they were really pissed that they kept getting his name wrong. I think it was some guy named Curtis. And he was like, it's Mobo. And he kept correcting him in there. And fucker saw it, obviously, because he changed how he said his name in the first quarter. He said, Jonathan Mobo. He changed from Mobu. He was calling him Mobu. I've heard Mogbo because the G is in there. I've heard Mogbo, but I've never heard Mobu. It was weird, but yeah. And then the other one that was really funny, other than Isaac's free throw discrepancy thing, where they shut up, like they were really quiet at some points. They were like, I think it's just that they realized that maybe the chat knew more about basketball than they did. Because another one was that flagrant call where there was a Westchester Nick who ran out at a three-point shot in the corner by AJ Lawson. And he ran at him and got in his landing space and didn't let AJ land in the corner. And they were looking at it on the tape, and the announcer's like, oh, that's probably not going to be a flagrant, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, it's going to be a flagrant. I wrote it in the comments. I said, oh, it's a flagrant for sure. And I explained why it's a flagrant. Because, listen, I'm not wasting my time doing this channel and studying the refs without knowing all the refs' rules. So I called it. I said, Gina C's going to get this right. And she's going to call a flagrant foul on the Westchester Nick for not letting AJ land in a place. Because this is the call they're doing across the league and everywhere. And, well, I said it in the chat. And there's like, then the announcers were adamant. Oh, they won't call a flagrant. They won't call a flagrant. Well, what did they do? They called a flagrant. And these guys on the announce crew would just shut up like for a little while. They're like, I guess they tried to rationalize it. And I had called that they were going to call the flagrant like 2 minutes before they called it. So that was funny, man. But yeah, they could definitely read our comments in there. And it was funny because I was feeding them some information too. They're like, oh, Obadiah Noel, former 905 and all this stuff. I was just putting stuff in. I'm sure they have it in the media guide. But yeah, they were definitely reading the comments. And I think that this is something we need to remember for the 905 games is that the announcers that are calling the games do see our comments in the YouTube chat. And they can read them and see what's going on, just so y'all know. I'm pretty sure that was proven last night because of the game last night with some of the funny things that were happening. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Thank you, Randolph, for being here. Blessings. We love Raptor Freak family. Blessings to you, Randolph Phillips, and blessings to all the Raptor Freak families. Yeah, the Phillips family also. Yeah, really good to see Randolph as usual. Thank you for the work you do in your personal life. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. Trucker Kaz is here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Trucker Kaz. He's off the road again. He just can't wait to stay off the road again, get to the weekend, and stay home with his family and friends. He just can't wait to get off the road again. I got to do that Willie Nelson for Kaz every once in a while because he's Trucker Kaz, and he is driving 5 days a week. But we're on a Saturday, so he's off the road again. Can't wait to get off the road again. 100%. I see you. I see you, Kaz. All right, Military Man saying this. Does anybody know if this is an NBA Cup game tonight? It is not. It is not. Sorry, I answer your question. They won't answer you because they want to let me get the question. So, yeah, it is not an NBA Cup game. This is a normal NBA game tonight. So, yeah. Seymour saying this. My opinion, I'm not trying to mess with the energy, but I'm not feeling Jack's commentating too much, glazing the opponents if I'm wrong. I'm all ears. I like that they're balanced. You know, and I appreciated this last night about the announcers we were just talking about for Westchester Knicks. They were very, very complimentary towards the 905 and what we were doing. They didn't call it very biased like a lot of announce crews do these days. They're very, very biased and homers. And it annoys me to an extent, especially when it's like a game where the team that they're announcing for is getting routed by the other team. And they're still just shining a light on this team that's shitty, getting their ass kicked on their little futile accomplishments. And they totally ignore the Raptors and what the fuck they're doing to destroy them. So I don't know. I mean, in some ways, it's a two sides of the coin. I like that we're homers. I like that our announcers are favoring the Raptors. But I do think that every announce crew that covers NBA or G League or whatever should have a balance that they will praise the other team for stuff that they're doing. I think that that's just in some ways part of being a journalist and having integrity. Is that you can tell both sides of the story. And I think that there's places and to do it. And now if Jack was overly glazing, you know, that can get annoying. I can understand that. But I think that it's important for announcers to be balanced to some degree. Of course, we want Matt Devlin to be louder and make his call even crazier for a dunk for the Raptors. But in some ways, you know, they should be praising excellence on the other side also. That's an important part of their job. But yeah, I think that the things with Jack that I worry about is that he's not as sharp as he used to be in what he's calling. And in some ways, I'm worrying about whether he's as clear and concise and accurate as he used to be. I don't know. I love you, Jack. Maybe slow down on the And maybe you'll save some of the brain cells, is what I'm saying. Yeah. His fun in Milwaukee. Yeah. All right, let me keep going. Let's see. I want feedback on this. On Jack, well, that's kind of my point there. Him and Scotty have commercials and stuff, so maybe there's chemistry. No, Jack's awesome. He's a real one for us. It's just in some ways, all of them got to do this to an extent. I mean, Alvin will say some nice things about the other team at times too. It's a good thing to do. It's just a good thing to do. You don't want to be blind to people's accomplishments because in some ways you're part of showcasing them, even if you're the opposing team's announce crew. In some ways, you got to reflect on if somebody on the other team's getting a triple double, you should be talking about it. You should be talking about it. Yeah, those commercials with Scotty and Jack are awesome. The Google commercials, yeah, they've been doing them for a few years now, and yeah, they're tight. I know that Jack's tight with Scott. I mean, I remember Scotty talking about going to film with Jack on, I think the first round that they did him a couple summers ago. Scotty was on Twitch and he's like, I got to go, guys. I got to go do some commercials. I think he's going to do the Google commercials with Jack. Yeah. Kaz is saying this, Military Man is not an NBA Cup game. The next NBA Cup game will be 7:30 against the Wizards on Friday, the 21st. That's next Friday, a week from yesterday. Yeah, that'll be a good game. We'll have to see. The Wizards started okay, but they're kind of being the Wizards again. And, well, it'll be interesting to see Canadian Keyshawn George and his team in that in-season tournament game. We need to beat their ass. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The NBA Cup against the Pacers is Wednesday, November 26th at 7:30. Thank you for the information, Kaz. Very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. All right, let's see. Seymour is saying salute to Nameless. Yeah, Nameless. It's always good to see Nameless in the chat. Salute to the Sheriff. What pop, champ? All right. Thanks, champ. Great info. We all got CMB. If you know, you know. we got. I don't know what that means. All right, let's go to the Instagram story since you brought it up. I'll try and figure it out. Chris Boucher working out for the Celtics, and there's his young lad dressed up really nice with a blue backpack. Chris is showing his son a lot more on his Instagram since he went to Boston. Toronto Tempo have Lily Sings calling the mascot once again. There's a lot of buzz around the Tempo and what they're building with the mascot and the feel of the team and how the in-game arena is going to feel. I can't wait for them to drop their jerseys. That's going to be fantastic. Jonathan Mobo has words of wisdom for God. God loves you. John 3:16 KJV. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Wow, I love that. So Jonathan's saying, believe in Christ, God loves you. And if you are a true believer, God will have your back with everlasting life. I love that. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Jonathan Mobo, not Jonathan Mobu. Norman Powell getting ready for the Miami game coming up. Don't miss it. It's coming up. And he's wearing a really interesting fit to the game. He looks like a colonial Minuteman with this weird jacket frilled out. It looks like he belongs like in Boston around colonial times or something. I don't know what's going on there. Andrew Jones has got the hype from last night. Of course, yeah, he gave the chain last night, guys, after the game for the 905 to Olivier Sarr. Big O getting the chain. Even though he missed some crucial free throws at the end of the game, he got the chain last night. Olivier Sarr. He did have a really good three-point shooting game. He was like 4 for 7 from three, and he did have a big factor at the end of the game. Too bad he couldn't make those first 2 free throws. That was tough. Garrett Temple is putting on blast a friend of his. His brother has a movie out. It's a short film. It's going to be shown at the AMC Mall of Louisiana tonight at 7 p.m. The doors open at 6 p.m. It's called Forever Damned, Rising Soon. And it's a movie written, directed by Julius Corbin, a good friend of Garrett Temple's down in Louisiana. So, yeah, if you're down there and you want to go to this movie, check it out. Garrett's putting on blast, and I'm pushing it forward on here. Eric Smith's We the Raptors book is doing quite well, it looks like, on the instant bestsellers list. So go get this book by Eric Smith if you're a Raptors fan. And support Eric and read it. It's awesome. It's 30 Raptors stories for 30 years of Raptors play. And it's awesome, man. I'm seeing it all on the bestsellers here in Canada. We the Raptors. Go get that book. It's a great book. You'll want it. All right, let's see. Jacoby Walters got a friend of his on blast from college. I guess he's on Baylor. and he is dunking a big old dunk. Wow, that was a huge dunk. That was pretty cool. AJ Lawson has got cool stuff from the game last night. He was the player of the game in my book, and he's my number one star. There's a picture of him with his dad. You can tell that's his dad, and maybe his sister that's on the court with him. And the one picture on there, it's really cool. That's definitely his dad. It's definitely his dad. That's A. Lawson Sr. And then, clutch three from AJ was the big reason why we won last night. It was tied 110 to 110, and there's 12 seconds to go. AJ got the ball in the corner and nailed the three to put us up 113 to 110 to get the victory over the Westchester Knicks. It was a close game, and it was a rowdy crowd. And, well, they were almost about to fumble the game. So good job carrying it out and winning it. And Andrew Jones was very proud of them after the game. So, AJ, good job. Good job. Let's see. What else do we have in the Instagram stories? Savannah Hamilton, Ashley Docking, Cinderella Stories was saying that if it's the Huskies versus the Huskies in the showdown in the Vanier Cup, it's going to be a dogfight, is what Savannah's calling it right now, a dogfight. So, yeah, Savannah Hamilton's with CBC Sports now, guys, and she'll be covering a lot more for them coming up. She also went back to her alma mater at TMU and spoke to some students about broadcasting. So Savannah's just doing good stuff there. Where in the world is Serge Ibaka? He's on your music platforms, and you can go listen to him. He's got a couple new collaborative songs out. I would say don't listen to it on Spotify. Fuck Spotify. You could go find it on YouTube. But, yeah, he's got a couple of collaborations right now out. He's got a Brazilian remix, Wah, 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 and Wah, with Mohambi and Jefferson Mumbere. So, yeah, Serge always doing musical projects with different artists. If you want to check it out. Also got a song out with Heaven Sam called Funk Du Ibaka. Funk Du Ibaka. So I'm sure this shit is very funky Afrobeat. And, we could get down with some Serge Ibaka music. Seriously, if they're not going to call him, Bobby, call him and get him on the Raptors again. We need a big man. He's going to be busy making music otherwise. That's right. He's got a video for it, and there's guys spitting fire, too, in that video. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Jamal Shed is deep in the Call of Duty. We had an interview with Emmanuel Quickley and William Liu this week, which basically, in some ways, William Liu was masquerading it as an interview, but it was actually a Call of Duty advertisement. And they spent some time talking about the COD. And, apparently that game is one of the most popular games in the NBA among NBA players. 2K is second, but on the Raptors, 2K is more popular than COD. That's what we learned from that interview with William Liu and IQ this week on Hello and Welcome podcast. And, Jamal's got codes, COD codes, because it just came out yesterday, right? That was the whole reason why William Liu and Emmanuel Quickley did that interview, is to promote the brand new Call of Duty that came out yesterday. And, Jamal Shed's already got the codes, y'all. So if you play that game, you just got it. You want codes, go to Jamal Shed's Instagram stories. He's got a ton of game codes for the new Call of Duty Black Ops 7. So you can go get it from Jamal. He's hooking you up. Raptors have a clinic coming up. November the 30th, it's a fast break all skills clinic. And then even in February, they've got a fadeaway shooting skills clinic. So Raptors development, register now for Toronto Raptors clinics presented by Tangerine. Yeah, Jameson Battle is still putting on blast these bikes, Epic Cycles. In the Ride, episode 16, he was on a podcast talking about bikes. So, yeah, go check out the specialist and his Epic Cycles and stuff like that. And let's see what else we got. That's it. That's the Instagram stories for today. Checking in on the world of the Raptors through their social media on Instagram. Seeing what they're doing. That's right. Seeing what they're doing. That's right. G saying, Pascal, we love you, but it's over our time now. That's right. Siakam, you've been on a high in Pacers land pretty much up until now. And now, we've been down still. We were down when you left, and we were down before BB King. We've been down hard late ever since the day you left. But now we're ready to come up, and we're ready to come up with Brandon, and we're coming. They're coming. That's right. Wayne's here. Good morning to Sergeant Wayne Strainer. Morning, Raptor freaks. Game day. The ones here are knowledgeable about draft picks can possibly advise who the Pacers could be tanking for. Not that we care, but it might explain the Pacers' ambitions. Next. I actually don't think it's that they're tanking for anybody in particular. I think it's just that when you have a player that's as important as Halliburton or Tatum for the Celtics, that decision's made from their absence. that it's not necessarily that they liked anybody in the draft. It's just that Halliburton's out and they can't compete as well without that player. So it's like this year's a wash. So that's what decides it. I don't think I have heard some things though. Somebody said this recently that if Cooper Flagg was in this year's draft, he wouldn't be number one. And I'm like, wait, whoa, you guys were glazing him, capture the flag all last year, hyping him up, saying he's the best generational talent to come and everything. And now people are telling me he would be like 4th or 5th in this draft coming up this year. What? Man, y'all got to stop doing this. Overhyping, overglazing players, saying this and this. I get it with Wemby. He's 7'5". That made sense. But I didn't get it with Scoot Henderson. No, I didn't. And well, we've seen now since with Scoot Henderson. So I'm like, I'm sick of this. Y'all stop over amplifying draft prospects coming up from college. And I'm sure Sergeant Wayne Strainer will second me on this. These guys ain't done jack shit. Y'all talk them way too much. And I don't care. In some ways, I'm with him. I don't think it's that they really want the draft pick. I think that they just decided this is our best strategy with Halliburton now. I think that's what it is right there. Yeah. Seymour's saying, good point. Good point. Yeah. Kaz saying this. Let's call out that goofy ass bum in 905 chat talking shit about Jonathan Mobo every fucking game. Yeah, that guy, I blocked him. The Japanese guy, the guy with the Japanese characters. I blocked him like 2 games ago. So every single game he talks shit about Jonathan. Yeah, it's stupid, man. You know, in some ways, I could say that's an indirect attack at Scotty. You know, listen, we get it. Jonathan is Scotty's guy, his best friend. And in some ways, you know, Jonathan on our team is special because of that. Some people may say he shouldn't be on our team just because he's Scotty's friend. But I say he should be, because in some ways that friendship and his ability to share the experience of being on the Raptors with Scotty is very, very awesome. In some ways, that's part of what makes Scotty even more joyous and enthusiastic about getting up in the morning and coming to come practice, because his best friend's here is sitting in the room and going through it with him. And in some ways, there may be a bit of a needle push to Scotty's ability and potential of getting better just because Jonathan's on our team, just his presence. I mean, it is somewhat like Giannis and his brother in Milwaukee. But I would say that Jonathan Mobo is a way more useful player than Thansis, right? Right? I don't think that Jonathan Mobo is in the league just because he's Scotty's best friend. He's a good player, and he's actually doing stuff. I don't know what that Japanese guy hates Jonathan so much about. Like, I seriously don't. I blocked him. I stopped listening to that turkey because I was like, this guy's just negative. He did that shit last year too, Cass. Like, that guy was in there bashing Mobo all last year also. I don't give a shit who that fucking guy is. Whoever the fuck that guy is, he's an idiot. Either we can block him, take the advice that I gave Gary the fisherman, or you can go ahead and engage with him and shoot him straight. I mean, there's enough of us in there, we could fuck him up. Like, if he really wants to do that, I blocked him. I can't see him anymore. If he was in there doing it again last night, I didn't see him. But if you guys see him and you feel like regulating, you go ahead. That's what a Raptor freak would do. Stand on the honor for one of our players when they're getting slandered by somebody that's just being unfair and just kind of talking out of his ass. So, yeah, all it takes is a couple of counterpoints saying, well, Jonathan is doing this and he's doing that. All right, let's start doing the stars of the game. You guys have made me want to do the stars of the game because, well, Jonathan's one of them. The first star of the game is A.J. Lawson. As I said, he hit the game winner, 21 points in 29 minutes. He was a -1, 6 of 15 from the field. It wasn't the best shooting night for the Raptors 905 overall, but there was important guys who got important baskets. A.J. was 4 of 8 from three-point land, and that last one was the most important one. He's so money. This isn't the first time A.J. Lawson's won a game to hit the big dagger to win the game and put the team ahead. He's done this many times in his career, whether it's in the NBA. I don't know if he's done it in the NBA so much, but maybe he's done it once. But he did a lot for Long Island Nets, and he did do it for us last year on the 905 also. So I get used to A.J. Lawson hitting daggers to help us win because this is something that's happened before. Let's just put it that way. He made both his free throws, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 5 turnovers, though, but he did get 4 steals to make up for it. That's one thing we were doing really well was because the Westchester Knicks don't have a point guard, which is kind of weird that they don't, honestly. They were really susceptible to Chucky and Elijah and AJ being annoying at half court and making them turn the ball over. And there was a lot of steals and AJ running down and laying it up and dunking it. So that was a good thing about all that. The second star of the game is Olivier Sarr. I would have gave him the star of the game, but he missed those free throws at the end that could have really iced the game, and it fucking pissed me off. Because not only did he miss one free throw, he missed two in a row. And we were really close to them. And these were free throws he did not need to be missing. But alas, Olivier had a very effective game for the most part. He was 6 of 9 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. He was 2 of 4 at the free throw line, including those 2 misses in the last minute of the game, with 18 points in 24 minutes, a -5. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a turnover, and a steal also. Yeah, he just shot well. He was a presence. He was active. This is the first time I've given Olivier Sarr a star of the game this season, because most of the time he hasn't been totally quality. But he was good last night. And he was very crucial and important to us winning, even though he had the opportunities to ice the game better with the free throws. But yeah, overall a good game for Olivier. Overall, yeah, the three-pointers were huge, those 4 threes. My third star is Tyreke Key. Tyreke Key had a career game on Sunday, had a really bad game against Maine on Tuesday, and then the game last night, he woke back up and was very effective off the bench. Tyreke, 11 points in 20 minutes, a +7. He was the best plus-minus on the team. It was a close game, and his minutes were winning minutes. He was 4 of 8 from the field, made a 3, made his only free throw, a 1 rebound, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, and a steal. It's not the best stat line, but in some ways, he was necessary for scoring in this really kind of gutsy game yesterday. My fourth star of the game is David Roddy. David Roddy off the bench, 11 points in 18 minutes. He was a +6, so he was a winning player for us. 4 of 9 from the field, including 3 of 6 from 3. Yeah, Roddy's threes were really good and helpful last night. He did miss his only free throw, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 turnovers for David Roddy. And then my final star is Jonathan Mobo, who only got 8 points and he shot 4 of 10, but he was out there active and stat stuffing. He got 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 turnover. So a 6-to-1 turnover ratio for a guy who's actually like a 4 or a 5. And he's out there kind of doing point guard stuff, because he had the most assists on the team. Or wait, no, he had the second most. Chucky had 9. He had 6-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. That's pretty fantastic. And yeah, so Jonathan's my 5th star. And whatever that guy was saying, he just needs to shut up. I say either block him or go ahead and confront him and tell him that, whatever he's saying about Jonathan is just not fair. And it's kind of full of shit, is what I say. Honorable mentions to Elijah and Chucky. I just didn't feel like they had a good shooting night. Both of them were off. Chucky has not been exactly right for so far this season. It's crazy because he was so good in Summer League. He was very good in preseason. And now he's not shooting well in the G League season all of a sudden. But he's contributing major with the steals, the defense, and the leadership with assists. So Chucky's very helpful even if he's not making his shot. But we were very happy he started making some shots last night because he's been cold. He's been a little bit cold. And Elijah had struggles shooting last night too. So Elijah Martin, 15 points in 34 minutes, 3 of 12 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. He made all of his free throws, 5 rebounds, 1 turnover, and 3 steals and a block. Elijah was very active and getting after it. It's just, man, he was missing so much. And Chucky, 12 points in 29 minutes, 4 of 11 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3. He made his only free throw, 9 assists, 5 turnovers, a 9-to-5 assist to turnover ratio, 2 steals for Chucky. Yeah, those guys will tighten it up. In some ways, this was a more gritty, slowed down game than the first 3 games they played. It was very free-flowing and up and down against the Skyhawks and the Celtics. But this game against the Knicks last night was very half-court and very grinding. And in some ways, that wasn't conducive totally for Chucky and Elijah. Yeah, going over the rest of the guys real quick. Tyson Degenhart, solid 6 points in 16 minutes, 2 of 4 from the field. He made his free throw, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals for Tyson. He's just an active, good role player. In some ways, the makeup of the Raptors 905 makes sense, partly because of having people like Roddy, Sarr, and Degenhart. Let's see. Julian Reese got hurt in the game last night. He had to leave the game halfway through it. I'm sure he's fine. It's probably something little nitpicky thing. But yeah, Reese had 7 points before he left. 2 of 5 shooting, 2 of 3 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds, an assist, and 2 turnovers and a steal, and 3 blocks. So yeah, Juju Reese, a +4 also. And Jarkel Joyner came in and played the rest of the minutes. 19 minutes with 4 points, 2 of 5 from the field, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal for Jarkel, a +4 in his plus minus. So yeah, a great effort, a team effort, and a close, gutsy win by the 905 over Westchester Knicks. On the other side, just while I have the stat sheet up, Scarborough Shooting Stars, Donovan Williams got 14 points on 6 of 16 shooting. He missed all 5 of his threes, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 turnovers, a steal, 2 steals, and a block. The leading scorer was Tosan Evbomwan, who had 23 points on 5 of 10 shooting with 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 turnovers. They also had a guy named Bryson Warren, who got 19. And then Dink Pat off the bench. He's a rookie. I was actually impressed with Dink Pat. He was 5 of 10 from 3, and he was a good sharpshooter for them. So yeah, the Westchester Knicks didn't really have that great of a team, but they did better than the other 2 teams we played so far. So you got at least that, Westchester, that you're better than the Skyhawks and the Celtics. That's for sure. All right, yeah, and we'll do the team stats real quick. Let's just finish up this game all around. The Raptors 905 shot 42%. We actually shot worse than they did, but we still beat them. We got 15 threes to 11 threes for them. The free throw line was they shot better at the free throw line, and they got more free throws than us. They did out-rebound us also, 44 to 37. The assisted turnovers for both teams, 28 and 21 for the Raptors, 28 assists, 21 turnovers. 22 assists for them and 27 turnovers. That may be the big key right there, is that we made them turn the ball over more than they actually made assists. 22 to 27. Yikes. Yeah. Also, points in the paint, they beat us 46 to 38. So that's how they won. It's like, look, they shot better than us. They out-rebounded us. They had better points in the paint, but we still won. Man, turnovers. That's what got it. We made them turn the ball over a lot, and that's how we won the game by 3 by the end. It was a very close game. And in some ways, man, they needed that kind of test just to kind of see what is going on, man. Just see what's going on. That's right. Trevor's saying, Queen, he is really good for real. He dominated the inside. All right, well, I want to see him. I will see him when we play New Orleans, if he's healthy and he's there. Yeah, I'll pay attention to him when he actually is a problem for us on that day. And then I'll get the first appearance of him, and well, we'll just have to see how he is. In some ways, like I said, I don't determine who these guys are, just like the writers of ESPN and Bleacher Report don't determine who the NBA players or the Raptors are. We just have to see what they do and who they become. And if Derek Queen's going to be a bona fide good NBA player because Tim Duncan said it, well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I could see that, man. I'll see that. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. G saying Queen has a tough mentality. I watched him make a clutch shot, and he did it with confidence. So I do believe he can have a good NBA career. Clutch shot in college. That was in college? He was on Maryland, right? Yeah, he's a Maryland guy, right? Okay. Well, I want to see him do it in the NBA. We got to see it do it in the NBA, too. Trevor J saying the Sixers lost last night in the NBA Cup, the Pistons. That's awesome. Yeah, the Pistons are for real. They've won like 9 games in a row, which is crazy. Some people said that the Pistons have had an easy schedule. That's part of how they did it. Well, that's good. In some ways, I like the freshness of the Pistons being on top of the Eastern Conference. Well, I'd like to be next to them. That's where I'd like us to be next, is up there. Pistons and Raptors at the top of the Eastern Conference. Let's see what happens around December the 1st, what the standings look like. That's right. That's right. Let's go. Thank you, Detroit. Seymour saying, yeah. We'll get revenge on Philly. It's coming up. We've got to play them next Wednesday. We'll play in Philly at Philly. So, yeah, be ready for that. We're going to be playing in Philly at Philly next Wednesday. It's not a back-to-back. We'll be playing no teams around that. So it'll just be go to Philly and play the Sixers for the second game of the season. Yeah, let's see. Kaz saying it's almost like Detroit is a good team or something. They are. I mean, it's Cade Cunningham, man. Has just been a really good leader and mature. And they have some good quality young players like Duran and Stewart. And They're interesting. They're very, very interesting. I think also though that their record has been easier to start, and there may be some evening out at some point. Their record is ridiculous right now. I think they've only lost like 2 games, right? They've only lost 2 games so far this year. It's crazy. Yeah, Detroit's better than Philly. I believe that. I believe that. I do believe that. That's right. Seymour saying, I'm so confident we can beat them too. Yeah, Sixers. Well, we'll get them the next time we play them. In some ways, that was a trap game last Saturday, and they wanted us to lose to the Sixers for the first game of the season. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Facts. Kaz saying Scott's going to put the clamps on Cade. That'll be a fun matchup. Shit talking, best friends. Cade and Scotty is always a fun matchup because they are very, very close friends. We taking the East this year, Seymour. I love that. Seymour saying we all got CMB, Cash Money Brothers, New Jack City, the movie. Lex. Oh, is that a reference to Wesley Snipes and Al B. Sure and that movie New Jack City, Nino Brown? That's what that's from. Okay, I got it now. Thank you for giving me the reference. Let's see. Popcorn. Okay, let's go. Shaq Lindsay saying this. Jonathan is making the transition to a certified NBA and 905 star. This is the thing. Jonathan is not going to be in the rotation on the regular Raptors for a while, so he's got to get time to continue to develop and get better. And in some ways, if he really gets in a mentality of being the Scotty for Mississauga's team, he could really grow because the way he's playing is very much like Scotty. A lot of the things Scotty would do for the Raptors, Jonathan is doing for the 905. And the more he can be that Scotty kind of glue winning player to give winning plays in the moment, that's great. You know what Andrew Jones called Jonathan after the game in the locker room when he's giving the chain out? This is simply what he said to Jonathan. He said, Jonathan Mobo, greatness. You have greatness. That's what he said to Mobo. He said that you have greatness. I'm just saying, man, there may be a ceiling to what he's going to become, but we can develop him more and more as like a jack of all trades like Scott, and it's a safer environment to do it in Mississauga. And yeah, I think that there's a lot of places where Jonathan can tighten up and be a better and better pro. And listen, what is the goal for Jonathan? A long NBA career, right? He can have that. He doesn't have to be the best in the world. If he's just a solid guy at some things, he gets a spot in the league and he sticks around. And all of a sudden, he's like Chris Boucher. I've been in the league for 10 years now. Because in some ways, that's the path he's going, is like Chris Boucher. Is that, you want to latch on. You want to show that you're useful for NBA teams because you have certain skills that very much help. And there's some of the stuff with Jonathan's defensive stuff is why he's so useful. It's not necessarily the offensive stuff that Japanese guy's going over his head. He doesn't even realize why Jonathan's so good because he's probably a score first mentality guy who only cares about offense. But yeah, Jonathan continues to be one of the best pick and roll defenders in the league, and other things that he's really good at. He can carve a niche and have a very long NBA career. And I think that that's his goals. His goal is not to become Scotty. His goal is not to become a major superstar. His goal is probably not even to become a starter in the league. But his goal could be to be like a 10 or 12-year vet who plays a long career, and he's just a very useful guy, like a Jeff Green or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about what he's supposed to be and what could happen. And I'm telling you right now, he's on the right path to carve out a long career as an NBA player, but it's a role player. And it's a player that, it can be helpful towards championships and stuff, but it's a role player off the bench and certain things he can do. So I'm excited about it. I think he's going to be fine. G saying this, I watched the Cavs commentators when we played, and I was actually surprised how educated they were about the Raptors. Mentioned we had 3 20-point players, Glazed, Yak, etc. Yeah, this is the thing. I don't like listening to the other broadcasts, but when I have to, I will check in with them to see how willing they are to compliment us. And I think that most of the broadcasts recently have been very complimentary of Darko and the Raptors and what they're doing. The Brooklyn broadcast was very nice to us last Tuesday, along with Cleveland this week, too. That's right. Yeah. Isaac saying this, 10 out of 10, WWW Lobster Pants. Fun time in the 905 game chat last night. All NBA Mo, AJ MVP. Okay. Me and Yak MVP. That's right. That was a funny moment. The kids at the Westchester Knicks arena last night there was a bunch of kids there. I'm like, what is this? This is a school day game? Why is it on Friday night at like 7 p.m.? They're having a school day game where all the kids are in there. I was like, did they bus in kids to make themselves have an attendance for this game last night? Because listen, I'll say this. Westchester Knicks games in the past couple of years are very not attended. Like in some ways you could count how many people were in that game on both hands. Seriously. And some of the games I've watched with the 905 playing Westchester in Westchester, nobody there. And the arena looked like a small high school gym with the pull-out bleachers. Like you pull them out. Yeah. So I was impressed. They were in a better facility last night with weird colored lights, but with a lot of kids. And at one point, these kids were yelling MVP at one of the Westchester Knicks, who I don't even know who they were. So obviously, how the hell are they MVP? But these kids just wanted to start chanting MVP, MVP, because they just wanted to. Isaac was like, is Jakob Poeltl in the game? Oh, he's so funny, man. You're so funny, man. Like and subscribe. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Isaac. Yeah, Shaq Lindsay saying this. He's taking the same path as Pascal. I think they're going to build him the same way. You're talking about Jonathan. I don't know if he's going to be like, he's not going to get like Siakam. I don't know. I think that, listen, we just got to let Mobo be Mobo, and he's going to get what he gets. And in some ways, look, we want him on the Raptors, especially if he's cheap and he makes Scotty happy. Seriously. I mean, it's like anybody who's like, man, we should get rid of Mobo. We should get rid of him. No, we shouldn't. Because, like I said, he's Scotty's best friend since they were like in the third grade. And in some ways, this is a person on our roster who's useful. But not only that, he really makes our franchise player happy. So, yeah, no, you don't want to mess with that. And that Japanese guy, he's a clown for continuing to go after Mobo in the 905 chat. He's a clown for that, man. Yeah. Let's see. CMB still saying, who's down with CMB? Yeah, you know me. Oh, OPP. Who's down with CMB? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with CMB? Yeah, you know me. Yeah. OPP. Yeah. I always think about that when I see the cops, the Ontario Provincial Police. They make me think of that old song. Who is the singers who sang that down with OPP? They were like Naughty by Nature, right? That's what they were called? Naughty by Nature? I'm pretty sure that's that band. That's right. His name was Tretch, right? The lead singer. Yeah. I think I'm remembering this. It's all coming back to me. Whoa. It was all a dream. But no, I remember it now. It's true. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Jimmy Pope's back. Good to see Jimmy Pope back in the chat again. We need to capitalize on this easy stretch. Yeah. When I was looking at it, because look, we win tonight. We are 4-1 on this 5-game road trip. And it's fantastic. That's fantastic. Especially since we beat the Cavs on Thursday. Yeah. All right. Indiana today, Charlotte on Monday, Philly, a revenge game on Wednesday, the Wizards in the in-season tournament game next Friday. And then we got a back-to-back at home with Brooklyn Nets on Sunday. And then the Cavs come back to Toronto and play us on the Monday night. And they'll want revenge in that game. But we'll be at home. We will be on a back-to-back, but it's a non-travel back-to-back because both games are at Scotiabank Arena. So that should be interesting. And then Indiana in the in-season tournament on that Wednesday, Charlotte once again, and then the Knicks on the last day of the month and the second night of a back-to-back on the road going from Charlotte to New York. That's fishy as fuck. Well, of course, they're going to give the Knicks and the Sixers to us on the second night of a back-to-back on a road travel. Yeah, that's them trying to give them the first win in the series against both Atlantic Division opponents. Right there. That's scheduling right there. And that's stuff that was annoying me, but it's like, man, the stuff they've thrown at us is the gauntlet of the schedule in the last 2 seasons. This is a cakewalk compared to what they gave us the 2 years before. So I will take a second game of back-to-back against Atlantic Division rivals. If that's the worst thing y'all are going to do to us, well, we'll still win ththese games. That's what I hope. That's what I hope right there. Yeah, I think Jimmy's exactly right. By the end of this month, I'd like to see us have like a 600 or 700 win percentage, way above 500. You know, and we can do this. A lot of these games are tough, not tough opponents. And in some ways, we need to show that a good team beats the teams they're supposed to beat and does not play with their food. And that's a big part of what's the rest of this month, guys. G saying this, is it just me or is Sar showing some improvement? His 3-shot mechanics look great. I know I scouted him wrong this summer when I was doing our summer league. I said Sarr's no good he's only good from 10 feet in. I was wrong. The man actually does have a 3-point shot, and I have to reconcile that I was wrong. Correction by Lex. He was wrong. I'm sorry I misled you on Olivier Sarr. Also, I want to note, and this is for Gary the Fisherman, that Olivier Sarr is a great passer. He had some good passes last night. Yeah. Yeah, this is for Gary the Fisherman saying that one there. Let's keep going. Shaq Lindsay saying this. That pass Jonathan made to Lawson for the win was incredible. Yeah, Andrew Jones giving a lot of credit to Mobo for setting him up, and also Elijah Martin. And yeah, I mean, it's a team effort. That's one of the great things about the 905 is in that environment in G League is ultra competitive. These are guys who are just on the cusp of trying to make the NBA. So it's very natural for them to be selfish and be only worried about themselves because it's a dog-eat-dog world. And they're all trying to get the same thing in G League. So, you know, when a team like the 905 buy in with Andrew Jones and play all for one for all, win for all, like Darko's demanding from the Raptors organization, it's special because that's hard to get in G League teams. That synergy and that feeling of sacrifice and saying we're going to play as a team, we're going to play winning together, and they cut out the individual selfishness of the individual players. That's so hard to do. I mean, it's hard to do in the NBA, but to do it in the G League is really impressive. Because those dudes, in some ways, they ain't got nothing to lose. And they could be like, I don't give a shit if I burn bridges. I'm going to go off and do my own thing. And yeah, I'm not playing a team game because I'm selfish and I want to make the NBA. And I need to go and make as many baskets and take the ball and be a ball hog, Kennedy Chandler. No, you don't want that in your G League team. You want them to actually play like a team because if you play like a team, you'll probably win. And that's the tough thing in G League. These guys are a collection of guys who are all trying to make the league, trying to get the same thing. How do you get them to play as a team? It's a counterintuitive thing. And in some ways, it's very impressive that the 905, and this is part of the reason why they played so well this year so far, is they're playing like a team. They're playing like a team. I can't even say that last year the Raptors 905 totally played like a team. The years of Eric Curry, they damn for sure didn't. They damn for sure didn't. And that means like working off each other, communicating, and making selfless decisions, and just being like sacrificing for the better good of everybody and not for their own individual good. It's a tough thing. It's a tough balance in that kind of, man. It's really tough, man. Yeah, let's keep going. Seymour saying, I think politics is just as bad as gambling. Create a divide. We're stronger together. Yeah, I mean, I think that we should just get rid of the parties and we should just all be humans again. And in some ways, we shouldn't be classifying as the other or versus or it's that versus that. I think that if we get back to this whole idea, it's like if you have good ideas that are going to help society, if you're going to help the working class, if you're going to help people afford houses again, if you're going to help people with costs in their lives, that you're a good politician and we want to vote for you. And I don't give a shit if you're a liberal or a conservative or a Democrat or Republican or whatever the fuck you are. Because in some ways, the party system is driving the wedge. And in some ways, at some point, the people can decide, you know what, fuck all this shit. I don't want to deal with this liberal versus conservative crap anymore. First past the post or any of this all bullshit. You know what? I want nominees and candidates that are going to be representative and doing good work for us all. And I want more people to start thinking like me. I think that there's a lot of middle people that have thought about this like this for a long time. And they're just sick of the two-party system or the four-party system, whatever we got up here in Canada. As far as like, you know, we just want people with good ideas and we don't give a shit about your affiliation. And in some ways, the affiliation is the tool that the corporations use to control the politics in itself. So if you have more grassroots candidates that do not affiliate themselves with the liberal or conservative party, maybe you get the better candidates like the new mayor of New York. Because in some ways, let's just not get it twisted. That man just won the mayorship of New York against both the Republican and Democratic Party. Neither one of the parties wanted him. And in some ways, that's the kind of politicians we want. The ones that neither the liberals or conservatives want in charge. Because they're the ones who actually work for the people. So there you go. Boom goes the dynamite. Let's stop dividing over politics and understand that the very, very, very rich are trying to make us divided. Understand that, please. Yeah, Shaq Lindsay saying, don't diss Jonathan. He's going to be really good. I think he's already really good. I think that in some ways he's a very serviceable NBA player. He has a triple-double in the NBA. That's a hard accomplishment to do. You get a triple-double in the NBA, you're bona fide. In some ways, he started so many games for us last year, and he got thrown into the fire kind of out of his element at times, and he excelled, and he held his own. He didn't look totally awful. They didn't have to pull him out with the hook all the time because he fucked up all the time. No, he was doing fine. He's done very well so far in his career. His rookie year went beyond expectation in my book, honestly, as the player where he was drafted and what I expected from him. He started so many games and he played very solid minutes for the Raptors last year. It's just when you put a Brandon Ingram, a Colin Murray Boyles, a Sandro Mamu on the team, the talent goes up and things just get distributed and you get pushed a little bit further down the pecking order. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like Jonathan has lost the gains that he's done in his career. In fact, going to 905 will give him more gains and what he's got to do next. That's right. Mugarbe's here. Good to see Mugarbe holding it down for us in Alberta. Grand Rising Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, sir. Also, Pascal and the Hospital Pacers tonight. And we can't lose to that team. We need to clamp their ass down. Yeah, I'm with you, Mugarbe. Yeah, we don't have no business losing to 1-11. No, we don't. And I know that Mugarbe loves Siakam. He's a big fan of Siakam. But listen, we will respect y'all by putting you down. Nice and easy. Nice and softly. We'll put you down nice and softly tonight with respect, Pascal. How about that? And I hope that you enjoy seeing your old friends that are on the Raptors right now. We did have a period of spicy barbecue where we did get to see Siakam play with Barrett and quickly. And, of course, he's going to be chummy with Barnes and Pirtle. Pirtle is such a close friend of Siakam's. That'll be part of the fun, is just seeing the goofiness between Yak and Pascal. That's always fun to see out there. Yeah. Let's see. Seymour's saying this. Cooper Flagg is from Maine. Him being all the way down in Texas is just bad business, and send him to Boston like Toronto moved Bruce Cowboy Brown. Politics and sport don't work. You know, the writing's on the wall. You know, Dallas is a mess. This Nico Harrison stuff is crazy. I've heard that Mark Cuban is going to take over and run the team for a little while Nico's out. That's smart because Mark Cuban cares about the team for the right reasons. And he's a real one for the Mavs. And honestly, he should have been in charge. And that's a red flag right there that they ran Mark Cuban away from the team, Nico Harrison and Patrick Dumont. That was stupid because that's quality control. That's a guy who cares about the team, like to the epitome of who he is. Dallas Mavericks owner, Mark Cuban, come on, man. He's got the best interest for them. Dirk Nowitzki said recently that they should have fired Nico in the summer. And that they shouldn't even waited to hear the boos and all the shit. He feels like Cooper Flagg didn't deserve to hear all the hate for Nico at the games, and it kind of ruined the start of Cooper Flagg's era in Dallas because Nico was still hanging on. So Dirk Nowitzki straight up said in the last 2 days they should have fired Nico this summer and didn't even let him come back this season. Yeah, not a lot of people were standing up for Nico, except for Jerry Jones, apparently, who's saying that he wants to hire him for the front office of the Dallas Cowboys. It's weird, man. That's so weird to me. All right, yeah, let's keep going. Shaq Lindsay saying Lawson's shot was nice, but the rebound and pass before the shot was incredible. Big up to Jonathan. Yeah, that offensive rebound was key because somebody else took the shot and missed it, and Jonathan cleaned up the board, and there was still just enough time in that 12 seconds for AJ to get that corner shot, and good recognition of J-Mo to get it to AJ in the corner. Real bad man. He knows how to get the ball to the right guy. That's right. G's saying this, Cooper is not a generational talent, but he could be a very good player. Dallas playing him as a point guard will either pay off later or ruin him. I think that they now moved him to shooting guard. Thankful we have a smart front office. Yeah, that's interesting. So they moved him off of there. Well, their win percentage shows that you don't start a guy like him at point guard as a rookie. That's just stupid. And I mean, I don't know who their point guard is until Kyrie comes back. They're fucked. So it's like, I don't know. Mavericks, you deserve this dumpster fire. And honestly, the fans don't. I don't think the fans do, but the ownership and Adam Silver deserve them fucking losing and looking so bad like this. They deserve this shit, but the fans don't. I feel bad for the Dallas fans. I really do. Yeah, but the NBA and the people in the front office and the owners of the Mavs, they deserve this shit so much right now. They really, really do. They really, really do. Seymour's saying exactly to G. And Shaq Lindsay's saying Cooper is good, but this is just a tragic case of talented players being wasted on a bad organization. Well, I don't think he'll be there after his rookie contract. I don't think he will be. They may want to tie him up, but he may be very defiant and saying, you know what, I've never enjoyed being here. And like I'm taking my talents to Boston. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's going to be the move. We know he wants to be a Celtic. And at some point, Cooper Flagg will be going to take the green jersey. I'm telling you right now. I'm not a Celtics fan. I don't want this, but I just know what's going to happen. I know this league, and I can tell. This shit's coming. This shit is coming. Shaq Lindsay saying, example, Hallie being drafted by Sacramento. Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing. There's a lot of bad franchises that will drop really good, talented players. And Halliburton and Sacramento, I don't think Halliburton's that great, though, guys. I think he's overrated. Honestly, I don't think he's a very good player overall. I think he's a very flashy offensive player, but I think he's kind of fool's gold. I think that in some ways it's amazing that they got to the finals last year, but in some ways he's not the reason why they got to the finals totally. Sure, he's good at hitting clutch shots, maybe late to help, and that's a big part that helps it. But he's not the bread and butter that carries that team, and we know who that is. That's our old friend 43. So, man, it's tough. I don't have as much respect for Tyrese Halliburton as most people. I don't think he's one of the top superstars in the league. I think he's a borderline all-star. I think that Jamal Murray should have been an all-star before Tyrese Halliburton. And I also think that in some ways he's gotten way too much push in this league, Halliburton. He shouldn't be as focal and prominent. In some ways, I absolutely think Pascal's the best player on Indiana. Let's just put it that way, too. How about that? Yeah. Let's see. Seymour saying this. It's weird to blow something up without seeing its full potential first. Low IQ thinking. Yeah, well, some people call for blowing things up before they come through because they don't actually want that thing to come through, and they want to blow it up preemptively so that people don't get the success. And that's a lot of the noise around Raptors stuff, saying, oh, we can't have all this talent on this team this summer. Let's blow it up. Because they know when we come in, we start playing, we start winning. Oh, fuck, it's working. We're in trouble. So in the summer, a lot of the pundits, whether it's Bleacher Report, ESPN, saying that the Raptors roster doesn't make any sense. How is this going to work? There's only one ball. How is RJ going to play with Brandon and Scotty? You know, all the bullshit they were saying this summer is basically the equivalent of a little kid putting his fingers in his ears and saying, I'm not listening. I don't want to see the truth of what it looks like on paper with Brandon Ingram on the Raptors. So instead, I'm just going to say some bullshit. It's like, they're not going to be very good because there's too many of them. I'm not listening. And then they fucking see the reality and their shit sounds so asinine and stupid. That's part of it, man. And the sad thing is people in Raptors Nation will hear ESPN or Bleacher Report and parrot this shit, and then they'll gaslight us. You know, it's people like Eric Kareen, this fuckface who writes for the Athletic. He's a fucking Debbie Downer. And like people have said recently, he put down the Raptors during our championship run and didn't think we were good enough to do that. Who the fuck wants to listen to this pessimistic piece of shit named Eric Kareen, who sounds like a sad, croaky-ass frog with his dumbass, zesty voice? Seriously. Some people say, oh, he's not for radio or TV. He's a good writer for Athletic. I don't give a shit. I don't read any of his shit. I don't need to read his shit about the NBA. What's the point? I don't give a shit. Yeah, I'm not going to learn anything from Eric Kareen writing his stories. Seriously. I don't pay no subscription to the Athletic for their bullshit. Why would I fucking pay the Athletic money for the bullshit they write when they sewer the Raptors all the time? Seriously. And people standing up for Eric Kareen as a writer, that's fine. He probably is a good writer. I won't know because I don't care. I'm not going to read his shit. All I hear is his croaky-ass voice at interviews insulting our players and talking down our players and being a pessimistic little miserable fuck. So, I mean, that's how I look at it. I mean, these reporters are assholes. Let's just put it that way. They're just assholes. Isaac's saying this. Remember when you told Gary that it's okay to block you? And he was like, okay, thanks for the advice. Then he blocked you. So it's like, hey, Gary, just so you know, Raptor Streak just said this, defense. Yeah, that was funny, Isaac. That was funny. I'll give you a dunk. And I think he missed out on the fun because he unblocked me at a certain point. And I saw him again. I think it was when Infamous came in and he was like, hey, Raptor Freak, salute. And then he was like, whoa, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden I started seeing Gary in the chat again because I didn't see him for a little while because he did block me. But then I guess he was missing out on the fun. He unblocked me. 140 for Isaac Campbell. Yeah, it was fun, man. Gary, no disrespect, man. I hope you come watch my show, seriously. And like, I do remember you from last year. You should remember me. I was in there talking just as much last year too. I don't know why you got so surprised, man. Why is this Raptor Freak guy spamming the chat so much? Because my friends are here and I want to talk to them. Seriously, I have observations of the game. Some people want to come into the 905 chat and hear what the Raptor Freak has to say about what's going on in the game because they respect my opinion and they want to hear what I have to say. You know, that's all it was right there. Benevolence, redemption. No, I think it was funny, man, because I seriously did look like a weird old man just talking to the wall for a while there. Because y'all weren't saying anything, and I'm just like writing comments every couple minutes. And he's like, "Who are you talking to? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "My friends are here. I'm talking to them." He's like, "Okay." And then I kept writing comments, and nobody was talking to me. You guys were just kind of in there watching and maybe checking the comments, but nobody was saying anything. And Gary's like, "You're annoying, man. You're annoying." Yeah, I probably am annoying to a lot of people, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not trying to be for everyone. Just like Trevor J's words of wisdom. I'm not trying to be everyone. I'm not the book that everybody wants to pick up in the library, but a lot of people do like picking up that book in the library. That's right. That's right. Seymour saying this: FBI needs to study that organization. Fox, Halliburton, and Davion Mitchell. Now they have Schroeder. Laugh out loud. Speaking of Davion Mitchell, man, I love Davion. Davion, you will always be a Raptor for half a season, but you will always be like a Bismack Biyombo, Dennis Schroeder, a beloved Raptor in my book. Davion Mitchell's doing some work for everybody in the NBA right now. You all want to know what Davion Mitchell did? He's so good. Of course, they played the Knicks last night, right? The Miami Heat versus the Knicks. And what he said was, because Brunson's out right now, right? Jalen Brunson's out. Davion Mitchell said that the Knicks are harder to play with Jalen Brunson out. Like he's too this is what he said. I got to get this right. He said he's too easy to telegraph and anticipate. So like they're stagnant on offense when he plays. This is all what Davion said. He's doing some good work as a Heat player for really the whole Eastern Conference in the NBA. He's doing some shit. He's saying basically the Knicks are better without Jalen Brunson, because he stagnates the offense when he's in. And when he's not in, they're more free-flowing, and they're harder to guard and play. This is a straight comment from Davion. Boy, is he trying to do some shit right here. Some people are saying he's doing like what Jason Kidd does with his interview comments that kind of pull the strings. I mean, I'm not going to argue with him. This is something I've said for a couple of years, that Jalen Brunson hurts the Knicks in some ways more than he helps them. And Davion Mitchell's just putting it out there in the press. How do you think this is a little tidbit, this little comment from an interview that Davion put out, stirring the pot, shit disturber, is going to go over in Knicks Nation? Can you just imagine what's going on in Knicks circles and talking about Mitchell's comment about Jalen Brunson and that the Knicks may be better without him in the lineup? You know, you might be on to something, Davion Mitchell. You might be on to something. I love it, man. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying Cooper will be traded or force his way out. Yeah. Yeah. I could see this. Totally agree. Totally agree. That's right. We love Dennis. Let's see. Seymour saying when we lose, we dreaming for a backup big. When we win, Bobby's cooking up a backup big. I think it's just early in the season. Seriously. I think that there's something with the deadline with the cap, and that Bobby's trying to have his cake and eat it too. In some ways, he's holding off getting the big because we have an open roster spot. We could sign somebody tomorrow and not have to cut anybody. We're running one empty in the chamber. You guys know that, right? That we have an absolutely wide open regular roster spot right now that Bobby could get somebody and put another person on our team. He has that right to do right now. But I think it has something to do with deadlines and the cap and tax and things like that and the apron. And that's why he's managing things this way. In some ways, he's getting by the skin of his teeth. In some ways, it was scary when Yak was out because of his back. He's like, oh, fuck. I know the fans are going to keep telling me to get another big. And I could, but I really don't want to do it yet because of this and this and this. I think that's what's been going on with this right now. Now, there's prospects for us to get a big. And it may very well be like a reinforcement around Christmas. It may be something around the trade deadline. We will get another big. I also am very big on this idea that as Julian Reese progresses on the 905, that this man needs to come up on a 10-day before the end of the season. He's showing chops that he could be that big, honestly, because he's playing like a big. I keep saying this when I see Julian Reese, the brother of Angel Reese, play for 905. He plays with a strength and a size like a classic power forward would in the 80s. In some ways, he's playing the style that Charles Oakley plays. And he's very physical, and he don't take no mess. And people come near him, they bounce off him and fall on the floor. So, I mean, that sounds fun, doesn't it? To have a young man coming up through the pipeline that maybe the next Charles Oakley kind of size, kind of enforcer, kind of like big presence, physical presence that he's tough, he's strong. So I like a 10-day go towards Reese at some point this season. We know the period of time in the Raptors season where we'd start doing the 10-day auditions late in the season. Well, he should be getting one of those by then. And this is going to be patient. I don't want y'all to go overboard and say, bring up Reese, bring up Reese, bring up Reese. Well, I say, let them go about being healthy and let the time go through the season. And when Reese will get his chance to come up, I'm telling you right now, and let him go through the whole season with Andrew Jones and develop more and more and get more sound and get the greenness off of him, get ripened up. And then boom, we'll probably see him on a 10-day contract before the end of the year in a regular Raptors jersey. I'm telling you right now, I can see it because that kid is strong and he holds space. And in some ways, that's kind of what we need in one of our backup bigs. He's not a true center, but he's a damn for sure a bona fide classic power forward like Charles Oakley or Buck Williams kind of player. I'm telling you, man, he's got that shit on him, man. And I think that's the course for him. You get your schooling, get your legs under you, learn more, tighten up, and get rid of your mistakes. And then let's put a 10-day on you by the end of the year through Bobby Webster. And you come up and you see the Scotiabank Arena crowd. How about that, Juju Reese? That's what I'm saying right there. That's what I'm saying right there. Boom goes the dynamite. Shaq Lindsay saying, if IQ can be their Hallie for the Pacers, the league is in trouble now. If IQ can be our Hallie, I love the shooting performance by Emmanuel against Cleveland on Thursday. And listen, there's going to be a range of outputs from him. That very exemplary, top-notch one on Thursday, all the way down to some of the duds he's had this year. And Raptors fans just need to allow Emmanuel to be who he is on any given night. And even if he's not making his shot, he's contributing to winning because he's getting assists and rebounds, even if he's not making his shot. So remember that, Raptors fans, before you throw Emmanuel under the bus, and then you have to do an apology letter to him later on. So just remember that. That's right. That's right. Blackhawks here. Good to see Neil. Flag will have to weather the storm like every other rookie in the league. Cooper is this year's Cade. Well, first pick of the draft, yeah. Rookie of the year, no, because that's not what happened, is it? No, our guy got the rookie of the year. So I don't know. Does that mean Cedric Coward? Does that mean it's VJ Edgecombe? I don't know. Who's the rookie of the year then? If he's this year's Cade. That's interesting to me. Neil saying this. Yes, Juju is playing like a big, but he ain't big enough. We need another 7-footer. I don't know if that's true, man. I don't know if that's true. Listen, I used to think that rookies can't have old man strength, but Colin Murray-Boyles just proved me wrong. Seriously. And I know Julian's got that old man strength already too. Listen, Chuck Hayes played center for us, and he was 6'7". If you're a really strong, stout man who holds space and strength, it doesn't matter if that dude's 7'5". You can push him all over the court because that's what they do to Victor. They push him around like a reed and a marsh because he's just like that, willowy and stuff like that. I'm just saying, Julian Reese holds space. He holds space, and that means he doesn't give it up. In some ways, he is the doorstop. He is a seal. He is somebody who can physically hold people away from the basket, and they will not make it. And that's what we got from Scotty and Yak against Cleveland on Thursday night. And in some ways, he can help in that department. He's not a true big. It's true. He can block shots, though, and rebound, though. That's the thing. And he is a very good defensive player. So I don't know. I want to see him get that audition. He will. He will. I mean, I can already see skills that he's doing that would be helpful on the NBA team. It's just that he's so green. He's going to make a lot of foolish mistakes just because he doesn't know what he's fucking doing totally yet. As far as fouling and maybe being in the wrong position on defense or being somewhere, he's got a rookie learning curve. Let's just put it that way. In some ways, we wanted to make more rookie mistakes with Andrew Jones and Mississauga than with the Raptors and Darko. But yeah, I can see he's coming up. And in some ways, if he's so good over the course of the year, he may actually have a path to be a regular Raptor for next year. Julian Reese. I can see this, guys. I can see this, man. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Seymour's saying, I was just gonna say at 6'9", fam, he's food for at the 5. I don't know. You got to watch him, Seymour. He holds space. Like, he's old school. Like, oh, he puts people on the fucking floor, man. They come near him. There's a forearm, and the person's on the floor, and he's way stronger. And the Knicks, they had some big players that he was battling against last night. And, in some ways, I'm just telling you, man, there's something about him. I've got to read on him. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Blackhawk's saying, you bring Juju if you need another power forward. Well, we might. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is I think by the end of the year, he'll get a 10-day tryout. And who knows if he gets a second one, and then boom, all of a sudden he just sticks around. There's a possibility for this. His sister's mentoring him, and she's a double-double machine for the WNBA. There's some insights and things that Angel can teach Julian, and that could be very helpful over this course of the season. I'm telling you right now, Juju is 230 pounds. He just needs to pump iron. He's very strong already. That's the other thing. It's like, just like with Scott, when he showed up with his broad shoulders, like, man, he can get stronger, and he has. We see Scotty Barnes in his year now, how strong his body is and how he is throwing people around at center. Colin Murray-Boyles, he has not lifted the weights yet, hardly at all. And Julian Reese, we can say the same damn thing, but he already looks strong as fuck. Like, he can muscle anybody in the NBA. I'm telling you, man. Colin Murray-Boyles is going to get stronger in the weight training of the Raptors in the next 2 years, and he's going to be an even stronger player already. He's already very strong. So it's very interesting, these young guys coming in with such strength that they shouldn't have this young. And in some ways, I thought Colin would have a learning curve partly because he would get pushed around like a rag doll in the NBA. But he hasn't. He's held his own, and he's held his weight out there in ways that I'm like, holy shit, that's not what happens with a rookie big usually. Usually they have a learning curve where they get pushed around and bullied a bit. But no, Colin's strong enough to hold his own. And Juju Reese is too. Trust me. These guys start pumping, lifting. Woo-wee! This will be something. I'm telling you right now, this will be something. That's right. Shed and Mamu need to be first off the bench. I agree with that. I'm not going. Listen, you just because I say something doesn't mean the other. And like even these comments coming here, they're like, I want Gafford. I'd rather have a center and stuff like that. I agree with that too. These are independent of each other. I think that Bobby's still gonna make a trade this year, trade some of our wings to go ahead and get another big, and it could very well be Daniel Gafford. I'm just saying this is independent of this. The tracking of Juju Reese and what could be later this season is independent of this. We go get the center too, and we have another power forward coming up with Juju Reese. I'm not saying he's the replacement to be the backup center. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that he's a young prospect on the 905 right now that is good enough to, at the end of the season, get a 10-day contract and maybe latch on. But I still think that we should go get Gafford if we can. Oh, yeah. I'm saying all of it. That's right. Isaac got Yak on blast. Love it. I'm going to go watch his highlights after this classic card. Yeah, you definitely need to want to check out Julian Reese. Check him out on the 905 and check him out from his college stuff because he's a brick. He's a big, strong dude, man. He's a big, strong dude. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying, I want Gafford. See, I want Gafford too. I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. Let's do all of it. That's what I'm saying. Neil saying this. After front office makes whatever trade they want, bring up Chucky and give Juju a two-way. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think Chucky's doing things right to convert from a two-way to a regular contract right now. If you're asking me out of the 3 two-ways, which one needs to be converted to a regular contract, it's Lawson. Lawson obviously is better than the G League. And in some ways, you guys are right. We need to get him on a full contract. But if anybody's getting converted from a two-way this year, it's AJ Lawson. It's not Chucky. It's not Elijah. No. AJ's can put in that work, and he's the one who's closest to it. So, I don't know. Maybe Juju Reese does get on a two-way, though, because with that, I'd say Lawson's ahead of the other two, though. That's just how it is right there. Let's see. G saying the Pelicans have fired Willie. Yep, we were saying that earlier. Seymour saying we went over that already, G. Yeah, he's just confirming it. Neil saying this. Scotty was a movie like Baby Giannis against the Caps. He was moving like baby Giannis. He's no baby Giannis, man. That's a full-size Giannis. Yeah, don't diss him like that. That's not a baby Giannis. Fuck that. Nah, if anything, we want the graphic because the Toronto Raptors own the Bucks in the playoffs of Scotty cradling a little baby Giannis in his hands, like those goofy memes that people make when somebody says, "Who's your daddy?" Scotty's your daddy. Giannis, no, man. Scotty's his own. He may be Giannis-like, but damn for sure ain't baby Giannis. Fuck that. I think he's actually the same size as him, if not maybe a little bigger. He might weigh more than Giannis. Honestly, he might weigh more than him. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. G Sam must have 2 times that part. 2 times that. That's all right. It may have been just earlier. Somebody just brought it up. It's right at the beginning. It was near the beginning. Jimmy's saying Cavs rested their guys and still got that ass whooping. Laughing my ass off. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Donovan was a little lackadaisical. Evan Mobley was ineffective, and Scotty beat his ass. That's just how it went. That's just how it went. All right, classic card. Chucky's playing through damaged hand. I didn't know that. Well, either way, Chucky's not shooting well, and he's not playing totally clean right now. And Elijah isn't either. So if we're converting anybody from a two-way, it should be AJ Lawson. Just because he's playing out the wazoo. He's been the best player on the 905 by far. And he's been the leading scorer. He's been the number 1 star for the 905 in their 4 games. For me, he's been the number 1 star 3 out of the 4 games. Yeah, so he's just been killing it, man. All right, let's go see Raptors Reddit real quick. Bring out the salami and cheese, mama. Somebody's got the classic a classic Chuck Swirsky t-shirt with the salami and cheese on it. That's a badass shirt, honestly. Wow. Dude, Purple McLaren on Reddit, you're lucky to have that artifact of Raptors history. The Chuck Swirsky salami and cheese t-shirt. I love that, man. I love that. Hey, they posted Kenny Atkinson's post-game conference giving Shed and Quickly a bunch of and Scotty too, a bunch of praise. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, they posted this a couple times. That's interesting. They want to say trade for Pascal and Siakam. What? What is this idiot? Rockin' Zombie has put in here on Reddit. They want to trade RJ and a pick for Siakam. What the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously, no. Siakam's the past. Let Siakam go where Siakam is. In some ways, we love Siakam. We always will. But we love RJ because he's a hometown hero. And who the fuck is this? You get downvoted, man. I'm downvoting your stupid-ass trade idea that you put up 22 hours ago. That's dumb as fuck. That's so dumb. Yeah, okay, yeah. Raptors Reddit, you've proven you're stupid at this point. So I'm not looking at you anymore right there. Oh, there's an update from Blake Murphy on the game for today, guys. 25 minutes ago, Blake Murphy has said that Jamison Battle is questionable for tonight's game with a right knee contusion. So Battle may be out for the game tonight, guys. Halliburton, Neesmith, Mathurin, Toppin, Furpy, Quentin Jackson, Cam Jones, all out for the Pacers. Yeah, they're all out. They all out. And Jamison's been added to our injury list as questionable now. Y'all check on your NBA fantasy Yahoo league. I'm catching up a little bit on Kaz here. I mean, not Kaz, HC. A little bit closer. It's still about 150-point lead, but I got to catch up. And yeah, just check on your lineups and get that all set up. Let's do the straight goods on Canadian goods real quick, guys. You want to buy water. People buy a bottle of water. Might as well buy a Canadian bottled water company. And this is a Canadian bottled water company. It's Ice River. This is a green bottle. It's a huge, big old thing that I bought at this grocery store. But yeah, Ice River bottled water is Canadian company, Canadian water, all done here in Canada. You don't have to pay any money to Nestle or any fucking American or international company. We want to keep it in Canada because you know what? We want to make Canada strong with the economy, more jobs, more places. You support Ice River bottled water. That means they have to hire more people to do the jobs, and you help the economy of Canada. So yeah, if you want to buy bottled water, this is a fantastic brand, Ice River. And this is a big, huge 4-liter of bottled water that I got here. So yeah, get Ice River. It's a Canadian bottled water. That's right. Get that Canadian water. That's right. Get that Canadian water. That's right. All right, let's see. You guys have more comments? Let's keep going. Let's see. Wayne saying this. I see IQ hitting 40 points due to his shooting style and streakiness. What's Oshai's injury? I think it's in his head. Too comfortable. Now, let's not diss Oshai. No reason to do that. Oshai's injury is one that's been bugging him. It's a back injury. He's had a tweaked back injury. You know that if he was healthy, he'd be playing. They don't mess around with this stuff. I mean, in some ways, look, the Raptors are so healthy right now. If there's any little nagging injuries, just a little bit of a reason to sit a guy that makes it easier for deciding the rotation. Jamison Battle's not available all of a sudden. Well, it's more minutes possibly for Grady and Jacoby, of course. So in some ways, the injuries are good to a degree because they allow Darko to get looks at different lineups and give more time to guys who may be not getting as much time at times. So I have no problem with it as long as it's not one of the main starters. We don't want to be missing one of those 5 guys, any of the notorious barbecue yak. But, bench guys that are missing here and there, like Abaji and Battle and Mamu and Colin, that's good because the other guys that are present will get more meaningful minutes. Because in some ways, we started this season, they were playing like 11 or 12 guys and really spreading out those bench minutes to like 10-minute periods for each guy. That's not enough runway for Grady and Jacoby to really get cooking. So, you see Jamison, Oshai, Colin out. That should mean way more time for Grady and Jacoby to come in and get actual good sets of production, because it's a really quick in and out. It's like, how do they kind of get established and get going? It's tough. Yeah, let's keep going. Seymour's saying, laugh out loud. You don't diss Scotty Barnes like that. Giannis ain't as polished of a game like Scotty. Giannis is a downhill rolling boulder that nobody wants to stand in front of. They definitely wanted Scotty to pattern some things about like Giannis, but the overall game in some ways, sure, there's some parallels, but they're very, every NBA player is an individual like fingerprint, an individual snowflake design. Nobody is exactly the same. There may be patterns and similarities in certain areas, but nobody's exactly the same. In some ways, Scotty being more like Giannis is a very welcome thing. Very, very welcome thing. And the comparisons of Scotty in the break from the game against Cleveland and the layups and the way he was going all the way down the court, that is definitely like Giannis. I'll give that. But there's some stuff that Scotty's doing. I would say that Scotty shoots threes better than Giannis in some ways. Yeah, Giannis isn't as good a three-point shooter as Scott, I think that's true. Let's see. Neil's saying Giannis is taller than Scotty. Scotty's got more basketball acumen. That's debatable if he's taller than Scotty. That's debatable. Isn't Scotty 6'11"? That's what I heard. Scotty grew. They've been debating whether Scotty's 6'7", 6'9", 6'10". It's part of the jokes we always go through in the summer. Get on Twitch. How tall are you, Scotty? I'm 7 foot, guys. I'm 7 foot now. They measured me down at OVO Center, and I'm 7 foot now. Oh, okay, Scott. He used to troll us with that on his Twitch. We'd ask him, how tall are you? We'd always be joking about that because they list him as 6'7", but that's his rookie height. That's not how tall he is now. It's like they still say Siakam's 6'7". Siakam's closer to 7 foot than 6'7" at this point. And Scotty is similar. So I think if you stood Scotty next to Giannis, you might be shocked how pretty much they're the same height. Let's see. Nawa Naka is back. What a silly ass trade. We love Spicy P still, though. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do this. Like, seriously, let's not have nostalgia to the point where we mess up our team just to get guys back. I mean, I love reuniting, and I think that the reuniting with Jakob was very smart and awesome. In fact, we called for it on this channel for a couple years before we reacquired Jakob Poeltl back to the Raptors. I was so overjoyed about that, and it's been a huge, very good move. We were right. So there's certain people you want to rejoin with for the right reasons. Obviously, Kyle Lowry, at the end of his career as a ceremonial reassigned to retire as a Raptor. But most of the time you don't want to go back and have guys come back, especially high-level players. In some ways, you move these high-level players and you do these deals and stuff like that. Like, how the fuck does Pascal fit with Brandon Ingram? Seriously, let's think about this. Seriously. In some ways, we already figured out that Siakam's not totally a Darko kind of guy. That's another reason why he's not on our team anymore, is because some of our guys that were from the time before Darko didn't necessarily fit the Darko system exactly right. And that's part of the reason why they're gone. Gary Trent Jr., Chris Boucher, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, another one. So, I mean, that's that. I'm with you. Nawaka. I'm with you. Slug Deezy is here. Good to see you. Slug Deezy. Is that Slug Deezy? No, that's Jimmy. Crazy Pacers have Pascal and are still 1-10. They're 1-11. Yeah, I mean, it's very much that they have nobody else. They really don't have a very good team overall. I don't know how they did what they did last year. Seriously, man. In some ways, I'm like, holy shit. To get to this point, I forgot. Like, they went to the finals, right? They went 7 games with the Thunder. That's insane. And now look at them, 1-11. Man, Pacers Nation, I feel for you guys. That's right. I feel for y'all. Let's see. Blackhawks saying Raptors are still low on point guard. That's why I lean towards Chucky. It's ironic that we need a point guard and center to strengthen our depth. We don't need a point guard. I think you're absolutely wrong on that, Neil. We're not low on point guard. We're low on center. That's true. But not low on point guard. That's ridiculous. We have, like, our top 3 players get 5 assists a game. We don't need Chucky on the main squad. We've got Emmanuel and we got Jamal. Jamal's a badass backup point guard. Then the depth chart goes to Scotty after that. Scotty's the 3rd point guard. RJ's the 3rd point guard. Brandon is the 3rd point guard. Jakob is the 3rd point guard. So that need's not necessary. The center need is definitely for real. But that point guard thing you're bringing up is not true. That's not true. But we're fine at point guard. Jimmy's saying this. What's with the IQ hate? Yeah, I don't get it. I think that, once again, people are going to look for ways to pull apart the Raptors from the outside, people that hate us. And they think that Emmanuel hasn't earned his contract because he was hurt last year, and his contract's pretty big. So a lot of the narrative this summer by our haters was trying to infiltrate our spaces and make Raptors fans not like Emmanuel. And this was done by people at Sportsnet like Michael Grange, questioning Emmanuel's contract and whether we overpaid. And so Raptors fans were gaslit into negative opinions of Emmanuel Quickley this summer, which is absolutely unnecessary and stupid. But that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of forces out there that try and shape perception of our team in negative ways. And that one of the jobs they did this summer was Emmanuel is getting paid too much for who he is. And when he started slow, some of the Raptors fans really piled on with that narrative. And they were wrong. And Emmanuel showed that in the last couple games. He's going to be very worth his contract. He's going to kick a lot of ass. That's what it is right there, Jimmy. That's it. Low IQ. Low on IQ. If you're low on IQ, you have a low IQ. That's how it works. That's it right there. Jimmy's saying we're winning basketball games against good teams, and IQ is playing amazing as of late. I know. And that's why they had to sign the apology letter in the last couple days. Yeah, come back around and apologize to IQ. Apologize to Scotty. Apologize to RJ, too, for all your fucking bullshit about trading him this summer, too. So, yeah, just write the form out, the apology letter, and, yeah, hand it in. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for realizing you were stupid and your overreactions way too early on Raptors players and what you think they are and who they are. Seriously, that's what we're saying right there. Yeah, Jimmy's saying, guys, we're fans. I really don't think we have the right to say a pro basketball player doesn't have IQ. I get it. I mean, there's different levels of this. What kind of IQ are we talking about? Are we talking about IQ just in general as a person? Are you a smart IQ like individual? Like Fred VanVleet's a sociologist and one of the most brilliant players in the league. Like Fred really is like a genius in his real life, like very, very smart guy. And then you could have a knucklehead like John Morant, who's not very smart, obviously, because he's not dealing with his life right. That's IQ right there. That's just general IQ in your life and whether you're a smart person or not. There's basketball IQ also on the court, whether you have good tendencies or vision or awareness on the court to see what's going on and manipulate things and do the right actions to win. You know, there's different levels of IQ. And sure, maybe somebody who never played in the NBA shouldn't be talking about the basketball IQ of NBA players. But also, you can kind of see when players are kind of not doing things exactly right on the court and they're playing low IQ basketball. So, I mean, it's different things. What are we talking about? We talking about IQ as an individual, as a human being in your everyday life? Are you just not that smart? You're a dumb person? Or are we talking about your smarts on the basketball court as a player? I don't know which one we're talking about. Which one are we talking about here? That's right. Neil saying this, I believe 905 doesn't play for a few days, so you can bring our guys back from the 905 to warm the bench. The 905 are playing on yeah, you're right. They're not playing again until next Wednesday. Well, there's been no signs that they've called them up. It's not like I think because they played, this is the thing, they're on the road, right? The 905 are on the road. They're not in Mississauga. They're in New York, and they played the Knicks last night. And then they're going to Charlotte. So they're on their way to Charlotte. They're like in the States. There is a possibility they could send Jonathan to Indiana, but I don't see this happening. Maybe they do because some of these guys are hurt. But either way, I mean, I don't see this. I think that Blake would have said something on Blue Skies if Mobo and the two ways were going there. But no, he says this: Mobo and the two ways are with 905. They're not with the main team. So don't expect Chucky and Elijah and AJ and Jonathan even in Indiana today. I don't know. Maybe Jonathan is there. Maybe he went there, but they haven't said anything about the two ways. So I don't think you can say that. I don't think you can say that. Even if they have a lot of days off, it's not really how it works, Neil, in some ways. Just because they have days off and they could do it doesn't mean they will. I think once again, because the Raptors are mainly healthy, they don't see the need to bring the two ways up right now and waste any of their eligibility games right now. And this is Indiana. I mean, if they weren't going to try and call them up for Cleveland, why would they call them up for Indiana? This is a slouch game. We don't need them. We don't need them. Let's see. Scotty's 6'8". No, he's at least 6'9". He's at least 6'9". You know, this has been debated a bunch, and it's kind of stupid and silly. The NBA is going to give him a lower height. That's not fair. He's at least 6'9". I mean, I would say that he may be 6'11", honestly. I mean, he looks the same height as Yak at this point. When you see him on the court standing next to Yak, he's like almost the same size person as Jakob Poeltl now. Like, seriously. Look at them when they're standing next to each other. Yak's a bona fide 7-footer. So, I mean, they can write numbers on paper and say shits on websites, but they lie about people's heights in the NBA all the time. And they always downgrade our players and say that they're at least an inch shorter than they actually are. They say RJ Barrett's 6'5". He's not 6'5". He's like 6'6" or 6'7". You know, they do that. In some ways, that's part of their way of trying to, you know, make us look lesser, is literally by putting us as a lesser height than we actually are. Scotty Barnes is no way he's 6'7" or 6'8". That man's at least 6'9", if not 6'11". I'm telling you right now. Wayne's saying this: I appreciate Oshai not dissing, just wanting. Just want him to be a bit more aggressive. He's our best finisher at the rim. He needs to punish opponents more. He's had a rough start to this season. In some ways, you know, he was very steady in the preseason and different things, but since the season started, he's kind of been the odd man out, and he's not been healthy. And it's just a different time in his career. Last year, he was starting a lot. He had a very, very good season last year for the Raptors. He was maybe on the down low one of our most underrated players last season, Ochai Agbaji. So, I mean, he's just having a rough start. And in some ways, once again, the talent shift of adding 3 players like Mamu, Colin, and Brandon has shifted everything, and the talent is higher. So guys are getting different roles, and they're not getting as much time starting or minutes. And Ochai is one of the guys that's feeling the effect of that. And, well, I figure he'll get things turned around. He's got to get healthy, and he'll get his chances, and he's got to just take those chances and run with them. It's just his offense was good at the beginning, but it dropped off in the last week or so, and it may be because his back's been hurting. I don't know. I don't know what exactly is going on with Ochai right up close. Neil saying Scotty is the same height as B.I. I don't know. We'll just have to get them all to stand next to each other, and we can see. There's that little mole running around in my yard. I see it every day around this time. There's a little mole out there. I like having moles. They're good for my soil. Very, very good for my soil. Let's see. Isaac wants a dunk for Jimmy Pope. All right, yeah, we can do that. Jimmy Pope, you're getting a dunk from the benevolent one. You are at 9. You've got that RJ 9 now, man. You got the Mississauga 9. There you go. He's saying that Jimmy's saying IQ gives us offensive tempo, especially when we are stranded defensively. Got to always keep the pace or it takes you. He's a threat, just like Battle is a threat on the court, just like a Poeltl is a threat on the court, just like Brandon is a threat on the court. IQ has his own way of threatening the other team and being a problem. And in some ways, that's very helpful. Sure, when he starts hitting it, he's even more of a problem. But even when he's not hitting it, the threat of the burst And the potential of what IQ could do is something that other teams have to game for all the time. And people got to remember that, is what I'm saying. G's saying Pacers are very injured and lost Miles Turner. They don't have a good point guard and center now. No Mathern or Toppin. They're basically a bad G League team right now. That's exactly why they're losing. And they look like Siakam, a team that Siakam was playing on in Tampa with the Raptors that year, is what they look like. They look like one of those teams. Neil's saying, for now, we use IQ and shed. We need a third. Having our guys pull double duty is taxing. It's not double duty, though. It really isn't. For the most part, we're playing IQ and shed. One of them is always on the court, and that's easy to do. In some ways, the third backup point guard is just for insurance. If somebody's hurt, you don't play 3 point guards in a regular game, Neil. You only have that third point guard to call up when somebody gets hurt. And honestly, we haven't had a 3 point guard depth chart in forever. Malachi didn't even count as the backup point guard. So it's like, I mean, it's not necessary because, like, look, we have lineups where we don't play IQ and shed, and Scotty is the point guard. We do this. We've done it with RJ even. So it's not necessary. Chucky's not necessary on the main squad right now, and that's why he's not there. That's why he's not there. He's much better off running the 905, and even with the time off, they're not going to call him up unless they really need to, and I don't think that they need to. If they do, and I'm wrong, well, I'll come back tomorrow and say, yeah, you were right, Neil. They called up Chucky, and he's in Indiana. He's playing, but I don't see this. I don't see this happening. I'm just going by my educated opinion here. Let's see. Trevor's saying all those assholes have to apologize to Quickly. I agree with that. Neil's saying stick to staying basketball acumen. It isn't bordering on being derogatory. Okay, I mean, maybe that's what the confusion is IQ. If I say somebody has low IQ, I'm not trying to. It's tough, and I don't want to be like an elitist or somebody's judging. All right, can I say basketball IQ, and that'll get me out of there if I say it's low IQ? Because seriously, there's dummies in this league. Let's not get it twisted. There's athletes that are absolutely dumb as a rock. You know that this is true. People in their lives, they're just not very bright. And I don't know how to handle that I don't want to seem like I'm being insulting, but also at the same time, I want to be accurate about what I'm saying. So there is a difference between regular IQ and basketball IQ. And I'll try and make the distinction in the future. I will talk about a guy's regular IQ sometimes. Like Patrick Beverly, he has a very bad IQ. He's dumb. He just got arrested for beating up one of his family members and a very vicious physical assault. So, yeah, can I say Patrick Beverly is a low IQ individual? Can I say Gilbert Arenas is a low IQ individual? Because I believe those are both true. I do. They've done things in their lives that show that they're kind of dumb. Let's see. Blackhawks saying RJ 6'7". I know. They list them at 6'5" somewhere, some places. They really do. Neil's saying take a picture of the mole and use it as a channel mascot. It's so fast. It's kind of like it just comes up out of the ground and runs from one of its tunnels across the ground into another tunnel, and it's right out into the next tunnel. It's so fast. But it's cool when I see it. I like seeing it. They're cool. There's quite a few of them out there. I'm pretty sure I have a lot of moles, and I have no problem with that. Some people be mad that they got moles in their yard. That's the natural part of aerating your soil to make it healthy and do good stuff. And you want more biodiversity in your yard. And if people get mad that they got animals or insects or critters in their yard, you're going to fuck up your yard because you're taking important parts of the whole deal of it. And man, those moles, they may make little lumps and weird things in your yard, but you know what? They're doing so much more good otherwise, is what I say. Yeah, if I could take a picture of him, I'll try, Neil. But in some ways, I have to have my phone ready because he just shows up for a second, runs through, and he's gone. And I gotta have to be waiting for him. It's like, I don't know if I can do that. It'd be tough. Maybe I need a camera that'll motion detect and it'll take the picture of it. That may be what I should do. Maybe, yeah. The Blackhawks saying this about Darko. You guys, give me a cutoff, guys. Nobody's here to give me a cutoff. And I see you guys still putting stuff in. Actually, Darko is playing IQ and Shed more together, and it's working. I know the quick Shed lineup's really good. But you know that we can do this. And Scotty likes doing this from time to time. I know you're saying it's double duty and it's taxing, but I don't think it is. Because the style of way we bring the ball up the court in some ways isn't taxing on the point guard anyway. because it's very much look up, throw the ball up the court. And sometimes the point guard's not even having to touch the ball because it's Scotty long court passing to RJ for a layup. So, I mean, I don't know if it's actually taxing on these guys to have to do point guard duties. I think that they love doing it and they're naturally doing it also. And maybe they're like, no, don't bring Chucky up. We want to be the third point guards, RJ and Scotty. Their basketball IQ or basketball acumen are acceptable, but I want to reserve the right to talk about somebody's IQ also, like just their IQ as being a stupid person. Like, can I say that Donald Trump is a stupid person with a low IQ? Because that's true. He's true. He's not a smart person. He's really a dumb person, honestly. Really, really dumb. Really, really dumb. All right, let's keep going. Seymour saying this. Solid tales from all. Let's hope our team brings the energy today with the win. Yeah, it's the Pacers. We better win. We better win. That's for sure. The tales, the advice, the path to the victory, the road to the win, to the victory, the path. It's the Pacers. They're 1-11. Beat their ass. That's it. I like that clip of the locker room after the game against the Cavs where Scotty's talking about he's doing his pep talk. He's saying, we saw Donovan Mitchell out there run around. We said, let's get his ass. I love that he said that. He's like, let's get Donovan's ass. Let's get his ass. That's hilarious, man. And some fans are like, why are the Raptors talking shit? Like, there's a clip of RJ Barrett and Emmanuel talking trash to Donovan Mitchell in the game against Cleveland the other night. And it looks like RG's being very cocky and talking shit to Donovan, and Emmanuel's backing him up. It's a cool clip, but some people are saying, why is RJ talking shit? He didn't play good in that game. Motherfucker, RJ is a bona fide player who's done very well in his career. He's allowed to talk shit. Trust me. Even if he's not having his best game. Trust me. He's allowed to talk some shit. That's right. That's right. Let's keep going. G saying, I think analyzing ball IQ is fair. You have players like Joker that are not overly athletic, but his ball IQ is what made him an MVP. You have players like Scoot, very athletic, but low ball IQ. Yeah, I mean, he's an athlete. He's a very strong arm person. But in some ways, it's like, that's not why I didn't like him. The reason why I didn't like Scoot Henderson was he was on G League Unite, and I saw him play against 905 before he was drafted, and he was such a knucklehead in that game. He got thrown out. He did not help his team, and he was very selfish in that game. And I was like, man, I don't believe in this dude. In some ways, he's just an athlete that looks cool. He's way overhyped, and I don't think he's going to be a good NBA player. And I've been right so far on that. In some ways, it's like, look, I can be cruel. I can maybe make judgments of people that aren't fair, and I can be wrong, but I'll correct myself and come back around. But when I do say things and they do happen the way they are, I think that, I should have the right to say things because I was right. I don't know. Yeah, let's keep going. Neil saying Pat Bev has always been a dumbass. Pat Bev and Paul George have been stunning for a long time. Yeah, I mean, I won't go after Paul George. I think Paul George is a nice guy. I think that he is kind of just earning a check at this point and doesn't really care about playing anymore. But Patrick Beverley, he's kind of an asshole. He talks a lot of shit, and he's said a lot of things that are just not classy. And in some ways, you're in jail now, Patrick Beverley. And speaking of who's in jail, honestly, I was surprised. This guy's not actually in jail, but it is his birthday today. Happy 26th birthday. Or no, not a happy 26th birthday, but it is the 26th birthday of Jonte Porter today, guys. Yeah, unfortunately, I went to look. I said, is Jonte Porter in prison right now? He said, no, he's out on bail. He's going to be sentenced in December. And they're saying that he'll probably get 41 to 55 months in jail. So he's technically not in prison right now. He's out on bail, awaiting sentencing for his gambling problems. But he's very much cooperating with the authorities, and he is very much using the excuse that he has a gambling addiction, and that is the reason why he fell into all this. That it was absolutely an addictive personality that got him into this mess that he got himself into. So it's the birthday of Jonte Porter, guys. 26 years old today. What could have been? Idiot. Low IQ. How about that, guys? Low IQ there. Does that count? Can I say it about him? Let's see. Neil saying this. RJ got better in the fourth quarter. Yeah, he carried us in the fourth to a degree. Him and Brandon may not play well shooting most of the game, but when we need a basket late, they're going to call their numbers 3 and 9. And we're going to see those guys get big baskets in close games in the fourth quarter to help us in clutch time. So that's the one thing. These guys could be bad the whole game, but they are carrying us right at the end of the game. And that has happened. That happened in the Cleveland game. That did happen. Yeah. Neil saying, I'll go after Paul George. He is ringless and acts like a shit. Don't stink. Yeah. And he's messing around with the Sixers. He was fool's gold. And they thought, oh, we're going to be champions because we got Paul George. It's just automatic. It's on paper. Paper don't translate the reality. And in some ways, that's the harsh lesson for Sixers Nation. And that's what they get. They get a guy that they get to pay on the bench to wear street clothes, just like Ben Simmons before. That's right. All right, let me do the rundown and get out of here. 2.5 hours real quick. I think that's pretty much it. Let's get the card. Let's get the card out. Seymour can go look at Juju Reese after that. All right, yeah, we'll do this one. This is fun. All right, guys. Full name answer, please. I think we know who this is. That's right. We kind of remember him. Maybe we remember him. Maybe we don't. Full name answer. It is kind of classic. But, yeah, do you remember who this is, guys? This is interesting that we got this card. Yeah, full name answer, please, sir. Please, sir. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's it. You got to put that last part in. Yeah, this is Otto. We forgot about Otto. In some ways, he Paul George'd us to an extent. He did. This is him on Magic. It's an interesting card. Yeah, Otto Porter Jr., what could have been? It was a good idea when we signed him. It should have happened better than it did, but it is what it is. Life goes on. And, Otto Porter, enjoy your life. Marrying a Canadian woman and having a kid and, having a toe problem on the Raptors. Seymour, good job, man. Good job, Seymour. Getting that one. I'm going to give you, because it's a Raptor, I'm going to give you 100 points. In some ways, it's like, you could have said, is that Lionel Richie? I'm like, no, that's Otto Porter Jr. That's Otto Porter Jr. Yeah, he stole money from us. Yeah, he did kind of do that. He did kind of do that. All right, let's run it down again real quick. All right, guys, the injuries for the Raptors have been updated. Jamison Battle has been added to the list as questionable. Ochai Agbaji is questionable, and Colin Murray Boyles is questionable for the game today. So just so y'all know, that's what's up. They're showing Ochai is out and Colin as day-to-day. Indiana, it's a laundry list, guys. It's a laundry list. Halliburton out, Toppin out, Cam Jones out, Benedict Mathurin out, Aaron Nesmith out, Johnny Furphy out, and Quentin Jackson out. All out for the Pacers. The referees for our game against Indiana tonight all favor the Pacers statistically. James Williams will be the crew chief. John Butler is the referee. And JT Orr, for the second time this season, is the umpire. We did win the first game, the JT referee. But all of them have a better winning record for the Pacers than the Raptors, just so y'all know. There was a Raptors 905 game last night, a 3-point victory for the Raptors 905 in a tight game, 4-0 now in their season, 113-110. My 5 stars of the game for 905 last night, A.J. Lawson, Olivier Sarr, Tyreek Key, David Roddy, and Jonathan Moba. All right, guys, let's get out of here. I hope you guys have a great Saturday. Touch grass, get outside, do good. If there's somebody in your life that may need a helping hand for whatever way, you go ahead and help them out, because this is a one life to live of community and humanity, and one looking out for each other. This is a selfish world of some people in this world will destroy us, and we have to be the antidote, and that is community, connection, and looking out for each other. So I got to go. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go Raptors. I'll see y'all tomorrow for the reaction.